Why? Hunter. This is a joke.
He just doesn't stop, dude.
Dude, Hunter genuinely hasn't given me a turn for like 6 of the last 7 turns. Hunter, I don't want this! Stop pointing at me!
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me as always are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
I just realised that was a very passionate intro, really. We should be in mourning because, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this week we are celebrating the death of the Nintendo Switch.
I mean, Hunter and I wore black
I brought a
today.
shirt with a coffin on it, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm wearing my Last of Us shirt. That doesn't really help. Don't have any Nintendo shirts, so unfortunately, I don't have any. This is only because I went to Universal Studios and they had like a Halloween Horror Nights Last of Us thing. Like, that's kind of cool. I'll take that. But I'm not usually a big like merch guy, so I was sitting there. I was like, oh, I could let me get. Do I have something Nintendo in my house? And I'm like, other than like the Xenoblade 3 Collector's Edition, if I think I put that here, I think Kyle will like have like cry. So I'm like, we're not gonna do that. We'll keep that hidden. And
I'm over it.
Are you over it? I'm okay.
I'm over the fact Nintendo has a shit website that can't handle more than 2 people being on it.
It's true. It's true. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Kyle, with my Switch pre-order from Nintendo, they sent me an email 3 weeks ago saying, "Hey, we're gonna be taking your payments really soon." Still haven't taken it 3 weeks later, so I'm like, oh, that's going well. Classic Nintendo.
Epic.
You love to see it. But hey, we're not here to talk about Switch 2. We're here to talk about the original Nintendo Switch. Why does that say Switch 2 in the timestamp? I'm going to do it like that. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch, all of our memories, all the games that have been and gone, and basically just give it a big send-off, because it's been a while. We did this... The first year that we did this shit, like we started this show, 2020, we did this for the PS4. So here we are once again doing our big Nintendo Switch retrospective as we go down memory lane and talk about all 8 years of the Nintendo Switch, nearly 9. That's crazy. So yeah.
I'm just thinking about the fact that we'll never get to do one of these send-off shows for an Xbox console.
I mean, they're
because
already
Hunter
dead.
and I will never buy an Xbox.
And they're already dead. It's fine. Don't worry about it. To be fair, if we had done it for the Xbox One, we'd be like sitting there going, yeah, Sunset Overdrive was pretty good, wasn't it? And then we'd leave it there.
Yeah.
But hey.
All this stuff they bought for next time seems cool.
And now it's coming to PlayStation and Switch. So that's all fun and games.
Who cares?
I'll have you know that I use my Xbox to watch Doctor Who every week. That's about it at the moment. It'll be dead again soon. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna start off just a bit of a rundown. Timestamps are going to be down below, so hopefully you know your original Switch years down below. What games came out where, and we'll go year by year. But we're also going to start with our origins, when we got the consoles, stuff like that, and then we'll round it out at the end with. After going down that trip down memory lane, we'll just each talk about what our 3 favorite games were from the Switch era. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get into it then. But before we do, a bit of housekeeping for you. As always, you can keep up to date with all of our reviews and articles on the website, hotgamesonly.com. We've got some reviews coming up real soon. Hunter has finalized his Expedition 33 review. So...
That'll be out sometime this week as of when the video goes up here.
Hell yeah. And then I'm sure there'll be more reviews as we get closer and closer to Switch 2 launch. Obviously, I know Hunter is playing Doom the Dark Ages right now as we speak. We're all on the Switch 2.
Right.
Yeah, we're of course it is.
It is right there. I could be doing that right now.
Well, I'm not going to talk about Metroid Dread again for the 60th time.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously Switch 2 comes out, Mario Kart World, all that jazz. We're all going to be on it, and there'll be reviews coming out for everything. I mean everything, damn it. I will be the one person that buys Welcome Tour and gives it a 1 out of 5. I'll make it my duty,
hell
damn
yeah.
it. So keep your eyes peeled on the website and on the YouTube channel. And next week, obviously, Game Mess is coming around, so we'll do our predictions for everything that's going to happen at Xbox and Jeff Keighley's Summer of Fun. So stay tuned for that too. Let's get started, shall we, with our Nintendo Switch Origins. So I just want to read the room here. We all basically, I believe, got our Nintendo Switches within the first year, so between like March 17 and March 18, right? I believe that's when we all got them.
Yeah.
I was a launch day boy. Hunter, when were
course you
you?
were.
Of course I was.
I picked mine up for my birthday that year, so in November, shortly after Mario Odyssey had come out.
And Kyle?
And I got mine a month later for Christmas. Because there wasn't really anything calling out to me.
And I know...
And also, I think Xenoblade 2 came out in December.
It was December 3rd,
That's when I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's Kyle's turn.
And I mean, to be fair, you sit there and you joke, of course you got it at launch. This was fun fact. This was my first video game console that I ever got at launch day. This genuinely was my first one.
But knowing you as a person now...
Oh yeah, now that I've got an income, it's like I'll buy anything. Like I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I'll buy.
You've got 2 Switch 2s pre-ordered.
Still need to cancel that other one. I'll get around to that, dude. I'll get around to it. Otherwise, it's gonna be an issue. I better get around to it.
Or we're gonna make fun of you.
Yeah, you'll never know.
We're gonna point and laugh.
But yeah, this was my first console that I got at launch. And I didn't want to get it at launch originally because I was in my first year of uni and I had exams coming up the next month. And I was like, now's not a good time to play Breath of the Wild. But the FOMO was hitting and I was scared that the console was going to be gone when I wanted it. So I was like, I'll just get one now. I literally didn't even pre-order it. I just went into a store and grabbed the last one that was in the store and walked out with it. And then I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to play Zelda. And so for 3 days, I didn't, and then I started it anyway. Because I had real great control.
You're a coward, and you could have just played Breath of the Wild on your Wii U.
I could have.
I did.
I could have.
Think about it, dude. You could have played it with the Playmobil tablet.
Yeah, but I also was like...
Or a controller.
I mean...
Or both.
Let's talk about the vibes going into the Nintendo Switch, right? Because obviously we had all been scarred by the Wii U in one way, shape, or form, right? We all owned Wii U's.
Mine's a paperweight now.
Epic. So's mine, technically. They're all paper. They're all landfill to be, eventually. But
woo!
I think we'd all been burnt from the Wii U. Especially, I felt like I'd been burnt from the Wii U because, you know, I got mine in 2014 as a gift. And I was like, I really wanted Mario Kart 8 because I'd been watching a load of people on YouTube play Mario Kart 8. And I'm like, that game looks sick. I want Mario Kart 8. So I literally got a Wii U just to play Mario Kart 8. And then I did play Mario Kart 8. I'm like, this game's great. Played it for hundreds of hours, had a blast. Smash Ultimate came out, played that for hundreds of hours, had a blast. Had Splatoon.
Smash 4.
Sorry, yeah, not Ultimate. Fucking hell. Smash 4. Potato, am I right, guys? Some people are really going to hate me for saying that. And then, you know, Splatoon in 2015. I'm like, oh, it's picking up. We're on a vibe. And then that was literally the end of it. And then it was like for 18 months, nothing. I'm like, great. Paperweight. So the reason that I got it, Kyle, was genuinely just because I was that burnt from the Wii U. And I was like, I know that this thing's going to get nothing else. And I was just like, I just kind of want to go at it full force. As someone who wasn't there at the start of the Wii U, I'm just like, I just want to go at it. This might be Nintendo's last shot. Let's ride or die. Let's see what happens. I'll get it at launch. I'll play it on the new hardware. Also, because I was at uni and I was going all over the place, the idea of taking it with me was actually an idea that I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, fair enough. In the first year, I think the first year of Switch 1 was the most I ever used the thing in handheld mode. I used it in handheld all the time. Like, I probably played 80% of my games in handheld mode. And then I never used it again in handheld mode. But, you know.
I mean, yeah, the idea of like a portable home console was really interesting at the time. Just this hybrid console was really cool. And Other companies have not tried to replicate it, which is kind of surprising.
I mean, not
You get it a little bit with like the Steam Deck, but
yeah. Like you got these PC. They really painted the way for these PC handheld hybrid kind of consoles, like the Steam Deck, like the
ROG Ally.
the ROG Ally, yeah. But they've
Whatever the
never,
other 7 of them are.
and we've heard that Microsoft is working on a similar thing for Xbox. It's almost certain that Sony is probably working on a new PlayStation Portable, just because it seems like the Switch really has rejuvenated this portable market for video games to the point where I think they really nailed the fact that, people don't really care about the power of a machine. It's just the quality of the games and the kind of how the Switch molds into the way you want to play. If you want to only use it as a handheld, go ahead, use it only as a handheld. If you want it to be a console, a regular console like the Wii U, you never have to leave the dock, baby. Just let it sit there and watch its battery die. It's just like, fine, let it live. But I think they really hit the nail on the head, and that January presentation was so damn strong. Like, I remember
so freaking good.
Watching it and just going, oh my god, like that Breath of the Wild trailer is quite, me and Hunter, we always constantly say it, quite possibly the best video game trailer of all time is that Breath of the Wild launch
trailer. Anything trailer of all time. The funny thing here is that I thought the rest of the presentation was kind of lacking, to be honest with you.
You see, for me, I thought it was pretty great as somebody who was like, I guess I was new to Nintendo's ecosystems. I'd owned a Wii U for about 18 months, if that, and I'd never owned a console from Nintendo other than the Wii U at all. I'd owned handhelds, but never truly a home console. So to me, when it's like they show you like, oh, I was still in my Splatoon loving era. So when I saw that Splatoon 2 was going to be within the first year, I was like, oh yeah, that's sick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I can take Mario Kart 8 wherever I flipping want. Sick. Can't wait. That looks great. A 3D Mario? Hell yeah. It was like, it gave me enough of a promise and enough of a roadmap that I was just like, screw it. Let's see what ARMS. I'll give it a go. I was in my like, I was new to Nintendo, especially in this kind of way. So to me, because it's like, I'd owned the handhelds.
You're just in the try everything phase.
I'd owned the handhelds, but really, like my 3DS or my DS, it was like Pokemon and Animal Crossing. And that was about it. That was my Nintendo experience. I played 3D Land. 3D Land was my first 3D Mario that wasn't playing Mario 64 in an emulator. Like, that was literally my first 3D Mario. So it's like, just having that, like, just that lineup. Yeah, looking back on it in retrospect, was there a load of like shit you didn't need, like Todd Howard with Skyrim coming out, or Andrew Wilson from EA going, we're gonna support the, like, you don't need any of that crap. You just don't.
Yeah.
But it gave me enough, and I feel like I was one of the few optimists, because I felt like when you go back and watch Nintendo Switch presentation reactions, it's a time capsule, ladies and gentlemen, because the amount of people who are just all like in on Nintendo's dead, it's over, is like,
dude,
it's
that's
so
the most hilarious
incredible
thing to think about with the benefit of hindsight now, is that so many people thought Nintendo were toast if this didn't work out, or if it didn't work, or even if it did okay, and to a lesser extent that it did. It's hilarious.
But yeah, it was an interesting time to be a Nintendo fan, I feel, because it's like everyone was like, well, we've got nothing to lose. Like, that's the state of where it's at. It's like the Switch the Switch either works or it doesn't. Let's find out what happens. And I was very surprised at, I think everyone was expecting it to do a little bit better than the Wii U, but I don't think anybody expected it to become quite possibly, like, in a few months, likely to be Nintendo's best-selling console of all time. Pretty crazy. But hey, let's get started, shall we? Year one.
Let's dive into this.
2017. So the way that we're breaking this down is, if you go in the timestamps down below, they'll say 2017 to 18, 18 to 19, and that's because it's like March 17 to March 18. Like, we're just going by the console's years instead of the years. It'll make sense eventually. Don't worry about it. Starting off with the launch. Interesting launch lineup for this Nintendo Switch. Obviously, the big one is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but you also had 1-2 Switch. Has anyone played 1-2 Switch in this household? Anybody?
Nope.
Nope.
Same.
There was also Snipper Clips.
Oh yeah, true. Snipper Clips. Can't forget Snipper Clips.
Which I learned this a little at some point last year. Same studio that made Crow Country. Caught me completely off guard.
What?
Yeah. I was like, excuse you?
Bro, that's genuine. Like,
I know, right?
hit their depression era, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, we used all our colors on the first game. I guess we're going to horror line. That's crazy.
They have a bunch of games, I think, but
That's
like
absolutely
it's just definitely a wild thing to learn.
Yeah, I mean, if we're also being like that, other games include like Fast RMX was a launch game, if I remember correctly. Shovel Knight, the collection, I believe, was also a launch game. You could play all of Shovel Knight. There was like Super Bomberman R was a launch game. There was like,
I think the Puyo Puyo Tetris was out relatively quickly.
there was quite a bit.
Around that time.
But yeah, I never played 1-2 Switch at all. In fact, I'm fairly certain that of the big games that Nintendo released, like, you know, the big ones that they put their marketing into that weren't just like Wii U ports like Pokken, I think it might be the only one that I've never touched. Like, I have dabbled. Like, I played the Fire Emblem Warriors demo, but it's like, you know, it's just like, I never touched 1-2 Switch ever. Like, no one that I've known has ever owned 1-2 Switch, nor has wanted to play 1-2 Switch, and I find that quite baffling. Like,
this even a real
it's
video
because
game?
It's because why would you? It's nothing that you would pay money for.
apparently not. Apparently not.
Yeah.
So
a lesson that they did not learn with the Welcome Tour thing that they're attempting to do with the Switch 2.
See you in 2 weeks, Nintendo. It better be good. I'm spending £7 whole pounds. The last of my gold points have gone into that, so no pressure, Nintendo. Taking my gold points away. Better be Astrobot. Anyway, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, March 3rd, 2017. Will always be etched into my. I don't. Yeah. The only reason that I know the Nintendo Switch
will live in infamy.
Yeah, the only reason I know Nintendo Switch's release date is because of Breath of the Wild. Like, that's genuinely the reason. It's like, yeah, when did Breath of the Wild come out? March 3rd. A week after Horizon Zero Dawn, if you're counting that. What a game, though, man! Like, actually, what a game!
What a game!
I'm not a Zelda guy. We've mentioned this on the podcast. I've tried playing other Zeldas. I've dabbled with many. The only other one that I've managed to finish is The Wind Waker. Great game. I like that game quite a bit.
Great game.
I'd also say that if it wasn't for the additions that HD actually added, like the Swift Sail and making the Triforce a hell of a lot less tedious, I definitely wouldn't have finished it in the original GameCube version, just because, my gosh, that Triforce quest is a journey. But
it was a choice.
I think the beauty of Breath of the Wild, and it's like, it's very rare. You get these games every so often that kind of truly are unique, and Breath of the Wild is just one of those games where it's like you have never played a game like Breath of the Wild before that point. It genuinely was like a stepping stone into like modern like open world RPG sensibilities. Like, a lot of games took inspiration from Breath of the Wild, and it's kind of crazy looking back on it now that game is like 8 years old. Like, it's crazy that this game is ancient. And how so many games have taken inspiration from it, but also how there hasn't been that many exact
so many games have
clones
flopped.
Yeah.
Trying to do so. Yeah.
You've had like Genshin, obviously, that was very much inspired by Breath of the Wild. And you had Gods and Monsters, what's it called? Immortals Phoenix Rising. That's what they changed the name to. But other than that, there hasn't been too many of them, which is funny because it's like, you know, Elden Ring comes out and then everybody wants to be a FromSoft game, like, instantly. But yeah. Hunter, you're the resident Zelda expert. What do you feel about Breath of the Wild 8 years later?
Oh, I definitely still love this game. Even though I had played it on the Wii U, I made sure that Breath of the Wild was the first thing I did play on the Switch for a little bit. I made Mario sit there and wait its turn for a minute while I screwed around for an hour.
See, Kyle, would you prefer? You see, you sit there going,
That's the
Ethan,
right
why did you
option.
not play? Why did you not play it on the Wii U? At least I didn't buy it twice. Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the few games I didn't buy twice.
Okay,
Yeah, but this is
your
Hunter's favorite
12,000 copies of Skyrim will
and Persona 5.
balance that out.
Hey, in my defense, I bought half of those copies of Skyrim for like $10, and also Persona 5 is like one of the best games ever made. Skyrim isn't, but Persona at least is pretty good.
Yeah, I will never bully someone for buying their favorite game multiple times. I own 3 copies of Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I
that's
will not bully
crazy.
people for buying the game they love multiple times.
Okay, I'll
You
hold you
are
to that.
valid, Hunter.
Thank you.
Very valid.
But yeah,
One,
Breath of the Wild.
Don't let anyone tell you
One of
otherwise.
one of the best games to come out in the past 10 years.
It's also the only Nintendo Switch game that has different variants of the cover based on the region, which I still find baffling to this day. Is Breath of the Wild had a different European cover art than it does to the American one. And that's the only
It's
game they
weird
did
that
it
it's
with.
the only one that does that.
Yeah. And do you know what's really funny? And it made me really sad was when they showed the Tears of the Kingdom box art and then that other one leaked with Zelda like reaching up and Link while they're both falling in the sky. There was like that other
Yeah.
piece of artwork and I was like, oh, is Europe going to get an alternate box art and we actually get the better one? No, we get the same box art. I'm like, damn it. Which is
Or
funny.
like the promotional image they showed later in the year with
Him on a rock, like standing like
it was standing over the cliff or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was like sunset or something. That one hard.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that in 6 hours' time, ladies and gentlemen. But now, I think it was a pretty solid launch lineup, all things considered. Obviously, especially where, from Nintendo's point of view, the situation they were in with the flop of the Wii U, the fact that they managed to obviously have a really big tentpole game and managed to supplement it with a load of indie stuff, I think, it did a good enough job to keep you at least busy for whatever it was, like the month it was until Mario Kart came out.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, if you're a person with a job, Breath of the Wild probably would keep you busy for close to a month.
Yeah, I was playing it for multiple weeks. Like, I was still playing it for it took me 3 or 4 weeks to get through it as well.
Yeah, it took me 3 weeks to get through, like, without a job, so,
God help you. Like, it is one of those games where it's like when people... I heard people talk about how it took them, like, genuinely, like, 5 or 6 months to get through it, and it's like, I 100% believe that, because if you have, like, family commitments or work commitments, yeah, playing that game an hour a night or whatever, yeah, you'll be there for a while. Good luck, buddy. Have fun with that. But yeah, what a great game. A month and a half later, 28th of April 2017, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out, which started the trend of asking the age-old question, will we ever get a Mario Kart game for the Nintendo Switch that isn't 8 Deluxe? Turns out the answer was no.
Question for 8 years.
To be fair, in their defense, we recently found out this week that Mario Kart World was originally the Switch game for the Switch Mario Kart game. They were making it for Switch. In fact, Mario Kart World has been in development for 8 years because it started development right after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe finished. So that's kind of crazy. It's nice to feel vindicated that we were... Because I was saying for years that we were going to get a Switch Mario Kart game. It's nice to know that that was the original intent. It just ended up going elsewhere.
Way to go, Ethan. Technically correct.
I love winning on technicalities, Kyle. That's my favorite.
The best kind of correct.
But yeah, the first of many Wii U ports was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They made a couple of changes. Obviously, you've got a battle mode this time. Crazy. An actual functioning battle mode that wasn't just on regular tracks. That's kind of cool. They added a load of game modes, which I think, looking back in retrospect, people always talk about, oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm like, to be fair, some of the battle mode stuff they added was really cool. Like the Renegade Raiders or whatever it was, where it was like cops and robbers, like, is a really fun mode that I wish online battle mode was like more played than it was, because there are some really fun game modes there. Obviously you had like your coin runners and your regular balloon battles, but the shine thief and renegade runners and stuff, there's just a bunch of fun stuff in there that I actually liked quite a bit. And the dedicated maps were pretty cool.
I forget. Did Mario Kart 8 have like the bomb barrage battle mode?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I don't remember if that was just a double dash thing or if
me
they
have a
brought it
look.
over to Mario Kart 8 or not.
MK8 battle
'Cause
modes. Let's have a look.
Hunter and I are the only two people in the universe that don't own Mario Kart 8 on the Nintendo Switch.
So it was
Oh.
Balloon Battle, Shine
Oh.
Thief, Renegade Roundup, Bob on Blast, and Coin Runners, and they're all sick.
Yeah.
I like all of those game modes. They're all sick. To the point where I'm kind of disappointed that Mario Kart World only has 2. It only has Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, and I'm like, you
Dude, Coin
literally
Runners stinks.
made 24-player Mario Kart and didn't add Renegade Roundup, the cops and robbers mode that would be absolutely mental with 24 people. I hope that that's like a post-launch thing, that they're just going to add stuff to it later, because my god. But yeah, full battle mode, obviously 2 items. You can actually have 2 items in Mario Kart. That was the big one that everybody was obviously on about. Purple charge on your drifting was also a thing. And, you know, Inklings and stuff like that. I can't remember. Was there anything else? There was no new Splatoon map because, obviously, it was a battle mode stage. But I think that was it in terms of added stuff.
Are
it
we
was
just
more Mario
talking on
Kart.
launch?
Yeah, on launch. Obviously, you got the booster course pass, blah, 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 blah. Later, where they added...
Ghost came back to harass you 4 years later.
Yeah, which we now find out is what they did that because Mario Kart World couldn't run on Switch, so they decided to make the booster course pass so they could push it to Switch too. Which, you know, I forgive them in retrospect, but again, why?
It makes a lot of sense.
In hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
it was infuriating.
it was actually infuriating. But I mean, it's Mario Kart 8. It's the best-selling Switch game. It's done well. What's interesting about this game is obviously you didn't buy it because you already. Cal had already played it on Wii U. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
I
had
didn't.
already played
Oh, did you
it
not play it
on
on
the
Wii U either?
I never owned it on Wii U.
Damn.
We had
I
it
just
on
never-
the Wii U, and what I played was good enough.
But I was of the opinion, like, I put like 180 hours into it on Wii U. I played enough to the point where when I did play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, I played like another 100 hours, and I was like, dude, I'm done now. Like, no more. Like, by the end of 2018 or whatever, I'm like, I'm never playing this again. And I genuinely haven't. I've barely touched it since. But it's still a solid game. I think the soundtrack for Mario Kart 8 especially is phenomenal. It's still one of the best soundtracks from the Mario series. I love that soundtrack. It's fantastic. Game's pretty cool too, but I'm very excited for World because I'm done with the decade of Mario Kart 8, dude. I'm just like, I'm thriving. I heard a new Sherbet, I just heard a new Sherbet Land theme in one of the recent Nintendo Today things. I'm like, oh my god, new Mario Kart music that's not synthesized shite from the booster course pass. Let's fucking go. This is great. I can't wait. Ugh. Anyway. Next up was ARMS. Any ARMS fans in the house? I played ARMS.
I always liked the idea of it conceptually, but never enough to go and find it and spend money on it.
I only bought
it's
it.
a neat idea.
I only bought it because I was literally going on a trip with university. I was going to Wales for a week, being dragged there against my will during the summer, and I was like, I need something to play in this accommodation, or else I'll lose my mind because I was taking my Switch with me. So I bought ARMS, and it's pretty fun. I think this game suffered from a lot of what modern Nintendo games suffer from, and we'll get to these later. Hunter will have plenty of experience with the Mario sports games later, where update it for 6 months, never touch it again, that's it, goodbye. Like, that game could have done with, instead of releasing a random character on a Tuesday, maybe doing it in more meaningful, like, kind of, you know, like when Smash Bros goes, bam, here's an actual rollout of something, instead of just like, get fucking random guy today. But it was fun. I liked ARMS enough. The soundtrack, again, phenomenal. You can tell it was made by the Mario Kart 8 team, because it's like, man, that soundtrack, great. Fantastic. July, we got Splatoon 2.
Sure did.
All I remember is the terrible bit of... I just remember in the launch event, the January event, the worst part of it was the Splatoon section where the guy who was doing the translation had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
What a classic. Splatoon 2, man, is a weird one. It's like, I think between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, put them two together, and you have what should have been the Switch
You
Splatoon
have a
game.
solid sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too much like the predecessor, man. It was like, it very
It
much.
should have just it really should have just been Splatoon Deluxe or whatever, all of what they had done
Totally.
before with maybe something else. Like I got this is one of the games that because I had just freshly had a Switch for my birthday, people were getting me Switch games for Christmas and I played it a little bit then. And I don't and then like I didn't play it again for like a solid year or so, so everything had been out by then.
Yeah, I played a
Pretty
lot of the
much.
story mode. I liked the story mode for this one quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. The fact that you could like master it with like 8 different weapons, so I just was going through them all the different weapons and testing stuff out. It was a lot of fun. The Grizz stuff with Salmon Run, really fun. Salmon Run is a game mode, really fun. But then again, you have those Nintendo weird like just Nintendo weirdness of like, yeah, you can play it, but it's only available in 2-hour bursts randomly on a Tuesday. Like, you know what I
And
mean?
you
Where
have
it's
to
like,
wait 6 to 10 business days to play it again.
yeah, like what a weird system. But yeah, it just suffered from not enough maps at launch, not enough new like gameplay out. There's not enough new gameplay elements, and it's by the time the game was fully updated, I was long gone. I'd moved on.
Yeah.
I was long gone, and that's the problem with Splatoon is by the end
I
of
had
it,
a
you get a massive, amazing game, but you've got two choices: either wait 3 years to play it, and everyone's a sweat and you hate yourself, or play it from day one and make it your personality. And I'm just not in either camp. I'm just not there.
I had come back to play 2 for a little while, but with some friends during the pandemic. Now, I just remembered that, and that was a decent enough time. I was like, oh man, I forget how to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun game if you can like get groups together that like Splatoon 2 and 3, like get friends together, have a good laugh, don't take it seriously. Cuz God
Yeah.
help you if you log in and it's Japan o'clock
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. It's
and then you just hate everything.
yeah. Then they filled out the months with a couple of extra little bits and pieces. Obviously, you had in August Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the Ubisoft collaboration, which was surprisingly better than I think anybody thought it
Yeah.
had any
Yeah.
right to be.
Way better than people expected it.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good. I never finished it. I think I got to like 2/3 of the way through and then stopped. But I was having a great time. It's surprisingly fun. Surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was good enough to get a sequel, so
great soundtrack by Grant Kirkhope as well. Then you had a couple of smaller releases. Pokken Tournament, second Wii U port on Wii U Port Watch. I don't remember much about this. Did anyone actually pick up Pokken Tournament DX?
Not the Switch version. That was
Yeah.
another one. I played the Wii U version and that was fine, but it was like I
Same.
don't really need to buy it again.
yeah.
Stone Cold stuttering things with a Pikachu was fun, but I have other ways of finding joy.
That's fair. Fire Emblem Warriors came out in October. I played the demo a little bit. It's just another Musou game. Wasn't really into it that much, to be honest.
I thought that took a couple more years to come out. Like I
No,
thought that's
that was
hilarious.
And then 1 week later, the Switch's 3D Mario, Super Mario Odyssey released. Another banger trailer. The final trailer for Mario Odyssey, man. What a trailer as well. Like, genuinely, Mario Odyssey, some of the best trailers. Nintendo was cooking in the trailer department that year, man, because what a game. From the first reveal to the E3 trailer where they showed off Cappy and transforming into everybody and the Pauline jump up superstar stuff.
T-Rex,
Like, yeah, the
yeah.
T-Rex. What a, like... I've not been back to play Mario Odyssey since it came out, probably, but that one playthrough that
Same.
I had of Mario Odyssey, I fucking love this game, dude. Like, I genuinely
Dude,
adore
this
Mario
game's
Odyssey.
incredible.
It's a good game.
It's so freaking good. Like, I remember before I even had my Switch, like, I was just watching a bunch of speedrunners play the game. The movement in this game is so freaking sick. It's one of those games that's so fun to just watch people be good at. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's it is dopamine, like in its purest form, dude. Just playing this game and learning its intricacies and just collecting one more moon, just trying to find everything. It's like it's so dense and it's fantastic. I absolutely adore Mario Odyssey. I'm still mad we never got Odyssey 2. I am still mad because, again, we got it so early. I feel like we were saying it for at least half of the generation. Oh, we'll definitely get an Odyssey 2. They're doing a sequel to Breath of the Wild. They'll definitely get an Odyssey 2 at some point, and we never did.
Best I can offer is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
And hey, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yes.
8 years later.
But yeah, fantastic game. Loved Mario Odyssey. November, you obviously got Skyrim, which was a big thing for everybody, including myself. I bought it and then never even booted it up once on my Nintendo Switch.
There's the Ethan I know.
I think it's really funny because I bought it because I was planning on going on a trip. In fact, I think I did go on a trip in November 2017, December 2017. I was like, you know what? I'll play some Skyrim. And I never booted it up, and it was great. It was fantastic. I was too busy playing Mario Odyssey, dude. I was still too busy playing Mario Odyssey. 1st of December, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out for Nintendo Switch. Fun story about this one, ladies and gentlemen. I bought this one just to be a terrible person. I had no intentions of playing it. I just knew that Kyle was a massive fan of Xenoblade 1, and I thought, hey, he doesn't have a Switch yet. You know, it'd be really funny if I buy it and don't play it and just tell Kyle that I bought it.
Did I forget? Did you tweet that out?
Yeah,
or was that a different?
All, no, that's all I
okay.
did it for, was to tweet it at you.
Yeah,
because like, yo, this is crazy.
Because so I was in college at the time, and I think I was like in one of the shops on my campus when I saw the tweet you tagged me in with it, and I'm just like, really, man? Why are you like this?
Yeah, it was really that was the intent, and I, like I say, I never intended on playing it, and then 3 weeks later, Kyle got you got the game because you got it for Christmas, and then I was like, oh, the satisfaction
The
didn't
joke
really
isn't funny anymore.
The joke isn't funny anymore because I thought that I'd get at least a couple of months out of it. So I was like, guess I'll play it. Which I started playing it. I played up to like chapter 3, and then I left it for a couple of months, and then they added the easy mode, and then I came back to it. Because I was like, oh no,
that's valid.
Yeah, now I can play it without thinking. Kyle, what are your thoughts on Xenoblade 2?
So I was surprisingly kind of in the same camp as you. I initially didn't really like the game at first. It just felt so much different from the first game, where I was giving Xenoblade 2 a fair shot. I said by the end of chapter 2, I was kind of like meh on the game, not really super into it. So I said, all right, I'll give it to the end of chapter 3. If I'm still not feeling it, I'm gonna drop it. And now it is the game I have the most time put into on my Nintendo Switch.
Which is
needless
crazy.
to say, Your Honor, it's peak. This is like one of my favorite games of all time. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not a game for everybody, but the people that love it and the people that get it really love it and get it.
I think it's interesting because I stopped exactly in Uriah. So it's like I stopped exactly when we just got to camp, and I was like, oh, I'm going to stop here and I'll come back later. And then, needless to say, I was literally like, I stopped 3 hours before the end of chapter 3, something like that. And if I just played for 3 more hours, I would have got to that part in the story where it completely hooked me in, and then I finished. Like, I absolutely started loving it. And there's something that I find really funny about that it was like, if I had just played for like 2 more hours, I probably would have beat it when it came out. Which a lot of people have these conversations about accessibility in games, blah 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 blah, get good and all that shit, and it's like, I love the fact that an easy mode came out for the video game came out, that it gave me the motivation to come back and play it and then end up falling in love with the video game. And it's like, now when I've replayed
Exactly.
it, I've replayed it like twice, and yeah, I'd play it on normal now, obviously, but it's like
Yeah,
just having that option led me into loving the game, and it's just that simple, really.
for sure. And I mean, yeah, Xenoblade 2 has its problems. Its tutorials are garbage and you can't review them. And,
And this
you know,
gameplay is boring.
in 2017, back when it just came out, there wasn't any like external resources you could go to. And Nell's YouTube channel did not exist as it does now to give you full guides on how to do everything in the game and give you explanations on how everything works, because the game doesn't do shit to explain itself. But I just love the game for all its customization options. It gives you so much fun stuff to play with. I think that the cast has a lot of growing pains, but by the end I did learn to love them all. It's just really good, dude.
Yeah, Xenoblade 2 will always have a special place in my heart because it was the first true JRPG that I ever played. I did not grow up with JRPGs. I was not a fan of JRPGs. I was one of those people that used to say anime was cringe. And now I still say it, but I have an asterisk next to it and list about 7 different things underneath it. Uh, including Slice of Life, which is possibly the most weeb of the anime categories that you could probably have on that list. But I don't care. Yeah, I really love this game. Its performances take some time to get used to, and they're a bit shit at the start, and that's what you get for recording everything in order. Don't know why they did that, but yeah, I really love it, and it will always hold a special place in my heart just for being the game that introduced me to JRPGs and taught me to love JRPGs. Yeah, it's a pretty great game. We'll get to, obviously, the whole of the Xenoblade saga is on Switch, so we can talk about all of it as we go through this retrospective. But I'll put it this way: I think a lot of people, it's at the bottom of their list. I think of the main 3 games. I think a lot of people put 2 at the bottom. Not at the bottom for me. I think that they progressively get better, in my opinion. Anyway, so hey, great series. Anything you want to say on it, Hunter, other than you don't like the gameplay?
No, I think we covered most of it. I played it on and off across the span of like 6 months after I'd quit my job the following summer. I liked the world and story quite a bit. Like I said, I thought the gameplay was boring, but I just solved that by running away from most things until I got to the end of the game and was like, okay, I guess I gotta kill a couple guys before I can fight the final battle.
Gabagoo,
But
yeah. What are you gonna do about
but
it?
but I still liked it enough to be interested in the next one, and also when they remastered the first game, and I think it also falls pretty fairly in the middle of my ranking of the series too. I would
And you got to
argue that
remember,
with
guys, me and Hunter are just correct, not opinion. Like,
yeah.
this is fact. Like, if me and Hunter agree on something, that becomes canon. Okay, that's how that works.
And like, there are some things I still think it does the best, like Malos and Jin are the best villains with like 0 competition.
So true, so true. And rounding out year 1 of Nintendo Switch 1, Bayonetta 2 and 1 got ported. 2, great fight. 2 great action games from Platinum that people seem to like quite a bit. Obviously, both on. Well, Bayonetta 1 is literally everywhere. You can't fucking.
It is everywhere.
Yeah, you can't throw a rock and not land and not hit Bayonetta 1. But, Bayonetta 2, exclusive to the Wii U before this point.
Yeah.
Great games. Bayonetta 2, my favorite of the Bayonetta games.
Yeah, I would wager that it is in fact the best. Again, with just the first level alone, it stands above most action games that aren't Devil May Cry or Hi-Fi Rush.
Dude, that demo made me want to play the rest of the video game, and then I was kind of mad when that was the best part of the video game, but oh well, the rest of it was pretty good too.
I feel like my perspective on the Bayo series is kind of skewed because I'd marathoned all 3 of them in the span of like a month.
Mm-hmm.
So they all just kind of like blend together in my head. I never even finished the third one, I'm gonna be honest.
Dude, I
Yeah,
didn't
you
finish
played
3
like
either.
5 missions and quit.
Gonna keep it a buck. I put 6 hours into the game and I'm like, I'm done.
Dude, we'll get to Bayonetta 3 out later, but my opinion on that game is it's kind of bad. Like, I don't even like it's like I don't like that one, like, which is interesting because I actually really liked 1 and 2. 3 made me go. I treat Bayonetta
Three gave you
3,
the
yeah.
ick.
But I treat Bayonetta 3 the same way that some Kingdom Hearts fans treat Kingdom Hearts 3, where I'm like, I'm sure, like, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is a good game, but they don't. And in the same way, I'm sure there's people that think Bayonetta 3 is a good game. I don't. But hey, what are you gonna do? And there you go. Year 1 over. Year 2, ladies and gentlemen. Let it begin.
Good job. It only took half an hour
Yeah,
to
but
talk about
the
year
thing
1.
the thing about year 1 is it's such a huge year. Like, it was such a banger year for Switch. It really did just kickstart
Also, the life
console.
of this console is very front-loaded.
Yeah,
We get less and less to
100%.
talk about the further we get.
I mean, let's start with year 2. Yeah, Kirby Star Allies. What a dog shit video game. Like, this is what we're talking about here. Like, genuinely. And I'm not saying
I
that.
didn't play it.
Dude, I'm not saying that because I'm not particularly a big fan of Kirby. I'm just saying as Kirby games go, Star Allies is really mid. It's not. We'll get to it, but there was this middle period, Hunter. You're right, of these games coming out. Yoshi's Crafted World. When we get to next year, same kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's one of these, but the last one was better. Like, it's just like Planet Robobot,
Yeah.
banger. Kirby Star Allies, poop, garbage. Don't like it. But hey, you know, at least they made up for it with the next Kirby game. Labo was a 2018 thing, year 2. Nintendo Labo.
That doesn't feel that fact feels fake. Like people being born in 2006, Labo feels like it came later than
Dude, there are kids that grew up on Nintendo. Yeah, there are kids that grew up on Nintendo Labo, Hunter, that are 32 years old.
Just like Pokemon fans.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the first 2 Toy-Con kits came out. So you had the variety kit and the robot kit, and all I remember hearing about these things are they're all right if you want to do something with your kid. If you're an adult, don't buy these. And then a bunch of adults bought them and were like, "There's nothing to fucking do with this. It's cardboard." I'm like, "Yeah, well done." I thought the piano was pretty cool. That's about it. That's all I remember. It's cardboard.
I think it's a cool idea, but like I never heard about it after it came out.
Yeah. It's also, fun fact, the
So-
only Nintendo Switch first-party game that isn't compatible with Switch 2, just because the Switch 2's bigger, so it doesn't fit in the cardboard. What a shame, guys. What a shame.
I can't believe they didn't take into account Labo compatibility when designing their machine.
Dude, those
failure of a
32-year-olds,
console.
yeah, the 32-year-olds are going to be sad that their moldy cardboard doesn't work anymore, dude. They're like, oh, I've been
This
saving
means
me,
even-
robot.
It means they have to make a Labo too.
Big brain, love to think. Oh, that's a great idea. It's a cool concept, though. I like when Nintendo does this stuff.
It's neat.
There's a couple of things later, like Game Builder Garage and stuff, where I'm like, I like when they do these little mini things because, especially when you look at when it comes to the big 3, when it comes to like Sony and Microsoft, nobody else does this kind of shit anymore. You know, like the weird, quirky stuff. No one does that anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So it's nice when Nintendo do weird stuff like this. I like it. Anyway, next up, I think a big thing to say about this year, guys, is this year was the year of Wii U ports and Smash at the end. So you're going to have to hold on to quite a lot of this. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, May. That was not May. In my head, that's one of those things. It's like, that wasn't a May game. What?
Yeah, it's a winter game.
This game added the revelation that was funky mode to the world. Yeah, Tropical Freeze is a decent game. Again, controversial opinion here. I love that we glazed the entirety of the first year and then we get to year 2 and I'm like, guys, this is kind of shit. No, I don't think it's shit, but I'm not a huge Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze guy. I'm just not.
I mean,
I think it's good.
I'll say-
I like it.
yeah.
I just people call it like the best 2D platformer of all time, and I sit there and I'm like, hold on, it's not that good. It's all right though.
That's
I'd
definitely
put
a wild thing to keep saying after Celeste came out.
I'd put it in the same category of game as like Mario Odyssey, where it's really fun to watch people be good at this game. Like, go watch a GDQ speedrun of Tropical Freeze.
Oh
The
yeah.
movement in this game is glorious.
I think the only difference to me in that regard is like Mario Odyssey looks super fun to play, and then you get it in your hands. I'm like, oh, this is super fun to play. And Tropical
Yeah.
Freeze is like, oh, that looks super fun to play. And then the first playthrough is miserable because there's 6 million jumps into oblivion, where you're like, oh, I hope I
Yeah.
land on
It's like
something.
put your 20 hours into this game and then you can have fun doing all the cool stuff.
Which is fine. I think it's pretty good. I like other 2D platforms more though,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I think is a controversial opinion, but hey ho, I don't mind. I'll say
I
it.
mean, yeah, later on, there's a better 2D platformer from Nintendo on this console.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Anyway, up next, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition came out in 2018. I forgot they did a third port of this bad boy. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. It's like a disease, dude. Like, yeah. Yeah, it was basically we got this as well quite a bit, especially later on. This was one of those things
We
where it's like
take the
there's a
console
Wii
version and the
version,
3DS version
portable.
and sure.
Yeah, mix it together, and what you get? Yeah, the definitive version of the game. If you like Hyrule Warriors, you'll like this one. It's probably the one to play. But hey, did you play Hyrule Warriors onto this one, or did you start with Age
Not
of Calamity like I did?
I played the Wii U version. I didn't play
Oh,
the
okay.
Switch version here. I think I have the Switch version over there somewhere. I got it when my brother got rid of his Switch, I believe. I don't know, and I'm not gonna check. But
Fair enough.
that's the spirit.
um,
Fuck
I
'em.
liked the first Hyrule Warriors well enough. It gave us Barbarian King Ganon, which is one of his best designs. It
And
was his
Linkle.
best design for Tears of the Kingdom.
Don't forget Linkle.
Yeah, for people to be normal about.
Zelda fans can't be normal about anything, Hunter. Don't you worry. They're gonna be in 2 weeks' time. They're gonna be sitting there with their app on the Zelda notes, going, "We need all the new lore, dude. What does Zelda want to say about this tree?" Like that's what they're gonna be doing. Um, Speaking of games that I forgot existed, but also thought this was way later into the Switch's life cycle, Sushi Striker, dude, that was a 2018 game. Like I forgot this was a thing. This was a game that came
Never
out on
even heard of
3DS
this.
and Switch. I thought it was just later. It was a Nintendo game though.
Mm.
3 weeks later, Mario Tennis Aces, the first of the sports stinkers on Switch, dude. But hey, I'll say my controversial. Is this a controversial take, Hunter? I think this might be the best of the sports games on Switch. This was my favorite.
I haven't sampled the opinions of the sports games in granular detail enough to know if that's a controversial opinion. I know my opinion is that golf is better, but like that's only the two of us here, and I don't think anyone's going to say that. The most controversial would be if someone was claiming Strikers was the best or anywhere approaching tolerable.
True.
I forgot
but
that existed.
yeah.
I mean, I
But
think the problem with it was it launched so bare bones, didn't it? It was like there was nothing
Yeah.
in it. There was no meat.
And then like the single player mode was this annoying thing of where most of what you were doing was not playing tennis.
And it was 90
So-
minutes long.
Yeah, too. Like you wasted 2 hours of my time to make me not play the game. And I'm over here smacking tennis balls at ghosts or whatever instead.
But I think it was the only one where they did so much post-launch content for Mario Tennis Aces. They were adding characters like a year and a half after the game came out. Like they just kept on adding.
Yeah, they were.
To the point where it actually felt
Play
like
as Chain Chomp.
yeah, by the end of the life cycle, that did actually feel like a proper Mario sports game. It's just again Nintendo classic.
Again, you already left.
Yeah,
so.
you already left. I didn't play it after launch, but you know.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think I think the latest I had played it was like screwing around when I was in Texas the next year, here and there. You know, so I did get some of that, but yeah, it's like, all right, there's more here than there was on the Wii U one, which good job at clearing the 2 centimeter bump that you made with that. But
So true.
you know, it still lacked like That's the theme with tennis and golf, I would say, is that they're functionally competent, but they lack any of the charm or personality of the ones that came before.
Yeah, they're very sterile, aren't they, in their presentation? Very clean. I
Yeah.
don't like it. 1 month later in July, a classic from Square Enix here, Project Octopath Traveler, which later just became Octopath Traveler. The first of many Square Enix games where they thought, if we stick Project in front of the actual name, people won't laugh at us as much. Spoiler alert, we still laugh.
Didn't work.
Yeah. Octopath
Nah, the
Traveler.
name's grown on me.
I just remember that is one of my favorite moments is just watching. I used to go through the January presentation bit just to the Octopath Traveler bit, just to watch that guy say Project Octopath Traveler, and I'm just watching people shit themselves with laughter just because of how stupid of a name it is. Again, the joy of that won't ever happen again. You love this game, Carl, Octopath.
I do. And I wish that Square Enix would do more with it. No, this game's great. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It is like turn-based RPG combat, and it's kind of like you pick one of your 8 characters at the start of the game to basically be your main character, and you follow. Then as you collect all the other party members, you get to like basically see 8 different disconnected stories. I think it's a neat idea, but and it was also the birth of HD 2D, of that becoming an art style,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
which very pretty, very nice way to harken back to like the Super Nintendo era
Yeah.
of games. I still think this looks really good.
We can add this to the list of games again that I bought that I didn't play. So there we go.
Damn
Add
it.
it to the list.
Damn, you should fix that.
Dude, I own
I didn't
both of
get
them and
it.
didn't play either of them.
I think it's for
Um,
the best for Ethan's psyche if he skips the first game and goes right to 2.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with the first game.
Well, except for it's very annoying to deal with the level grinding that I know he doesn't have the patience for.
and
It'll
I'm
put hair on
sorry,
his chest.
Kyle. I'm not the person that decided to release Game of the Century Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the exact same day as Octopath Traveler, okay? Because I did buy Captain Toad at launch, and I had a fabulous time. Now, obviously, all my Captain Toad heads were freaking out at the changes in the canon of this video game because they changed the final cutscene to lead into Odyssey instead of 3D World. A shocker to everybody. Yeah, it's Captain Toad, isn't it? It's a Wii U game. I didn't play it on Wii U, but I did play it on Switch. I thought it's cute. It kind of got old though by the end of it. Like I wasn't sitting there going, "Oh, I wish there was more." I was like, "Oh yeah, there's a reason this was a side mini game in 3D World." But it was cute enough. It had its moments. I liked it. It was fine. Again, a game where I just felt like they were just like, fucking put anything out, mate. Anything on Wii U, fair game, dude. Anything. Just get it out there.
Just save it from the dead console.
Yeah, exactly. Afterwards, Nintendo published a couple of extra little bits and pieces, including Go Vacation. Anyone play Go Vacation? No?
Don't even know what this is.
It was like, I think it was a Namco game originally that was like, it was like a Wii Sports Resort clone that they made for like Wii U, and for some reason Nintendo were like, yoink, we'll port that and publish it for Switch, and no one played it. Anyway, the third Labo kit came out. They were just cranking them out at that point. And then Xenoblade 2 Torna came out in September of 2018. Surprise to many that it was a full video
This feels
game.
like a fake fact to me.
What, they released it like
I didn't
9 months after the original?
I didn't realize it was this soon,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was 9 months after. Crazy. A game that I did play instantly and loved it. Great little expansion. Highly recommend it. If you have played Xenoblade, if you're a Xenoblade fan and you have somehow not played either of the expansions, the 2 Future Redeemed and Torna, go and play both of them. They're both fantastic. But Torna especially, I think Torna adds so much to the original Xenoblade 2 that you're just like, it's great. It's fantastic. And
even as a standalone, it's great.
yeah. Arguably,
Unfortunately,
if
you
you're
can't buy it standalone.
well, you can buy it standalone.
Well, you can, but you shouldn't,
Yeah,
because that's expensive, probably.
it's not too bad.
Don't know. I
actually.
have my physical copy, and I haven't looked at prices anymore. So
I think it's managed to stay all right in terms of prices. I don't think it's too bad. But and if you're a hunter in the room, obviously he doesn't play DLC because DLC smells. Obviously, that's rule number one of
Yeah.
hunter life. But
Rule number 2 is don't restart video games.
yeah, that is true. But also we have the gameplay is actually better in Torna to the point where I'm like, if Hunter ever did play it, he probably would go, "Oh yeah, the gameplay was better." Like that's what you would get from it. But that's about it.
Yeah, probably.
So if you're wondering,
yeah,
the gameplay is better in that one. Anyway, moving on.
yeah. Torna just feels like it was a game that was where the gameplay was made for normal people to understand.
Yeah, it simplified a lot of stuff. It took a lot of the effort away. October, Super Mario Party released the first of 3 Mario Party games to come out. Arguably the worst Mario Party game to come
Bro,
out on
this
the
game
console.
stinks.
Yeah,
I've played the one time. It was with a friend in college. We got 5 turns in. It took like half an hour to get halfway into a 10-turn game, and I'm like, okay, dude, this game stinks.
Oh man, that's
Why
my
does
experience with
everything
the other one.
why does everything move at the speed of a dead snail?
why does
Like,
everything have to be with a Joy-Con? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
It makes you
dude.
play with the singular Joy-Con. It's the worst. Yeah.
Why are those
Like,
cubes of steak so damn realistic? What is this video game? That's all I remember. It was a step back in the right direction after the Wii U Mario Party games, but it still wasn't enough. Where it was like you still need a bit more of a nudge in the right path. But it was the best selling Mario Party on the Switch because of course it is. It's the first one. Ironic that it's
That's
the worst.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Next up, Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. It finally made its way in November of 2018 with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. The games where I still look at their box art and it looks like a genuine, like they just...
It looks fake.
Yeah, it looks like they just stuck a JPEG of Pikachu and Eevee over the Windows XP background, dude. Like, what the hell is that? Like, my god. As the games go, though, I don't hate Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee that much, to be honest. They're not the worst Pokemon games of the generation, that's for sure. But they're pretty forgettable. They were all right. Obviously, I don't know if people remember, but they made like the Pokeball Joy-Con where it was just an analog stick that you could push in to capture the Pokemon because you could play the whole game with just one hand. That was the gimmick. Was like you can play it with one hand. No battle, no wild battles.
There's also a Mew in that Pokeball.
Yeah, there was a Mew in that Pokeball. It was all right. I didn't hate it.
I didn't play it.
This was one of those ones where I was like, because it was coming out around or in the general orbit of my birthday, it was like, you get that for me if you want. No one ever did, so I never played it.
Hell yeah.
Or I was like, yeah, doesn't mean that much to me.
Hell yeah. Next up is the big one for the year. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, December 7th, 2018. Yeah, Smash came within the first 2 years of the console, which I think a lot of people were surprised about that it came so soon. People were expecting it to be a bit longer than that because we had just got Smash 4 in 2014. And it had only wrapped its DLC up in 16, right? So it was like it had just finished. So everyone was very surprised. How are we feeling on Smash Ultimate now, 7 years later, ladies and gentlemen? How are we feeling?
I think this game's awesome.
Yeah, I like this one.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I don't have the same attachment that I do as the first 3, but it's also strictly because of the period of my life that it released in. I don't have the same buddies that I was spending the summer playing the other 3 with to do that with now, so but like I've still played Ultimate for a solid little while after it came out, probably into the next year at least, and
Oh
then
yeah, and like
called it a day.
yeah, and for me, like because when this game came out when I was in college, it was just easier for me to bring my Wii U with me rather than like or not my Wii U, my Switch, rather than any of my other consoles, just because the Switch was so small and easy to transport.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time playing Smash Ultimate online, and I'm like, I had my fun with it. I don't really play it anymore, but because the online is kind of dog shit.
Yeah.
But I had my fun with it. I enjoyed it a lot. I think that like the whole lifespan of the game, all the DLC it got, the roster of characters they managed to pull for it is absolutely insane.
There we go. That should fix everybody. I just realized
Huzzah.
we've been blurry for a while. But I'm like, because we're talking about Smash, we should probably change the server because US East is having a field day again. But we're back anyway. Yeah, the DLC roster for this game was kind of crazy as we went through it year by year. Obviously, the day before the game came out, they announced Joker was the first DLC character coming to the game at the Game Awards. So that literally happened the
Yeah.
day before, and you know, from Sephiroth to Sora to God, just everybody. Byleth, everyone's favorite. Min, everyone's favorite.
Banjo
Plant.
Kazooie.
No, yeah, Banjo Kazooie, obviously. There was so much Kazuya from Tekken. There was just like such moments. Terry, I feel like
People learned who Terry Bogard was.
yeah, I really. You see, I don't miss the Smash era of every fucking direct being, oh, who's gonna be in Smash? But what I do miss is there's always an aura around it, you know? There's always an aura around directs when there's a Smash game in the midst.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, but there can be a Smash character here. You know? It's always like, it could be here. And I miss that. I do miss that.
Like, it's obnoxious, but it's also really fun.
Yeah. It's nice to get in the middle of it. But yeah, I like Ultimate quite a bit. I think World of Light is smelly. I 100%ed it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I still think it's smelly.
It should have been about a third of length. Yeah.
Bro, I 100% of this whole game.
Yeah, I think
all of it. I did every one of those stupid challenges.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
It
jeez.
sucks.
Cleared every
Even
character's
after they
classic
kept adding
mode.
more of them?
I don't remember. I do remember like the challenge board I had cleared though.
There.
But
It was
nah, this game's
a good
great.
time. Yeah. Also, I love that I went
love
out of
that
the way to change the Discord, and it's just everyone's still a blooming potato. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The voices will sound fine.
You're just gonna have to deal.
Yeah.
It's just mirroring Smash Ultimate's online functionality.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Ew.
Yeah. We've got to mention that you have to start paying for Nintendo Switch Online this year. This was another thing that you had to start doing because it was free for the first year. Anyway, that was a thing.
And it didn't get better.
Nope.
Smile.
The last big game for year 2 was everyone's favorite port, and a port to end the port year. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. What did they add? They added Peachette.
And broke the internet.
Yeah, that was weird.
With Bowsette.
Yeah. What a weird game. A weird port, and I just want to make this extremely clear that this was not the 2D platformer that Kyle was saying was better than Tropical Freeze earlier. There is another one later.
Nah. I forgot this existed.
It's pretty shit. I bought it. It was not very good. Anyway, that's year 2. It was an alright year. Like I say, very much a port year. There was some Pokemon. There was a little bit. Smash was the big hitter for the most part. But yeah, very port centric year. Year 3, off to a record breaking start with Yoshi's Crafted World. Oh, we were talking about it earlier, Hunter. Games that it's just like worse versions of games that came before.
Was better. Yeah.
Crafted World, awful. Not a good game. In fact, it
Port
makes me
Woolly
angry.
World, you cowards.
Where's Woolly World, you cowards? Hashtag release the Woolly World cut, dude. Like, my God. Unacceptable. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about Woolly World other than it was very disappointing. And that theme tune was
Bastard
the most
World.
annoying theme tune of a video game I've ever heard in my life. I still can hear it in my head 7 years later, 6 years later. I'm just still sitting there
Oof.
hearing that awful, awful kazoo. Make it stop. Make the kazoo stop. It's in my dreams.
He's hearing that and the right overlaid on top of
Yeah,
No.
genuinely,
Persona.
it's the same. It's the same. It's worse. It's worse. Like
With a little bit of Alley Cat in the background.
like
Yeah.
you could use that. You could use the Yoshi's Crafted World theme in like War Crimes, dude. You could do that in Torture, and it would work because my God, it's like awful. It's really bad. In April, the final Nintendo Labo came out. It's the VR headset. VR was all the rage in 2018, 2019. So yeah, that happened. It was a thing. You could be an elephant. What a riot.
An idea they would
This is
carry
a really
forward
good
in a
box
few
art.
years.
No. After that, Mario Maker 2 came out in June 2019. A game that I always forget
You
exists.
skipped one.
What? What did I skip?
Tetris 99 came out.
Oh, it's not on
Oh
the
shit.
Blame Nintendo.
Well,
It's not on the list.
Tetris 99 came out at some point in between those two.
The
And
goat.
That's the best of their little the best of their little goofy battle royales, I would say, because it's the only one that, with the exception of maybe F-Zero, that's still going.
Yeah.
They killed all the rest of them soon after, but
Yeah.
I love Tetris 99 and Tetris
Dude,
in general.
It was really fun to play this game on release when like everyone was playing it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just the people who were good at Tetris.
It was fun to play this game at release and continue to play it and suddenly learn that I'm apparently better than most people at this game.
The best I ever got was 15th place. And I'm like, I will never do better than this.
Like
I
a
got
couple years after the
second.
game
I got
came.
second, and I wanted to die. Like that was genuinely it. It was like I got second. That was the best I got. Never got a Tetris Maximus or whatever it was called.
Later in the summer, they introduced the Invictus mode, which is where you would only play against winners. I made it like my mission for the day to win one of those. It was a good time.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I've won.
Ah, hell yeah.
I've won that a couple of times because that's just what I started playing on after that.
Damn, he's good.
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker 2,
June.
shit.
Dude, this game came out at a bad time because Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled came out the exact same day. And that game ate up 400 hours of my life in that 1 year that I played it. So I played Mario Maker 2 for legitimately 3 hours. Ever. Period. I played Mario Maker 1 for like 80. I played this game for 3 hours, went, oh, it's more Mario Maker, and stopped. Like, again,
with less cool things that you can do because like it didn't have the same kind of like touch the amiibo to put the other characters in the game.
Yeah, and without the gamepad being able to draw the courses, it felt really awkward manually. Here's hoping when eventually you get a Mario Maker 3 maybe on Switch 2, the mouse will actually make that a bit more fun to play again, because creating in Mario Maker 2 is awful. It's like really not fun to do. But yeah, I mean, it's more Mario Maker. If you're a fan of Mario Maker, you'll love Mario Maker 2. But if you were looking for something new, there was one new theme, and that was it. This game got no support at all. It was kind of pitiful. They had a whole thing. It was like
weird.
New game modes, only added one.
And more.
And more. 3D Land. That was it. But it was fine. It was just more Mario Maker. I just wish there was more source.
I've heard that the Nintendo created levels that they like give you were good, but I never got the game, so like I wouldn't be able to fact check that.
I never finished it. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. That's a lie. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Next up, another game that you'll forget was a Nintendo game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. They just brought back Ultimate Alliance for some reason. Nintendo were just like, yeah, I guess we'll publish that. Why not? If Sony gets Spider-Man, we'll do Ultimate Alliance. So that was a game that happened. I don't think
do
any of us
remember
played
that.
it.
No,
Nope.
not this one anyway.
Couldn't tell you anything about it.
And then in another classic Nintendo move, quite literally like a week later, Fire Emblem Three Houses came out. The big,
Sure did.
I will call it the big Fire Emblem for the Switch era.
Well, yes, its competition is Engage.
A bad game.
Yeah, true. You know, it follows the exact same aura as every other Fire Emblem generation, where it's like the first one that comes out for the console, probably the best you're gonna get. So you know, have fun with it, because the ones that come after aren't gonna be as good. Yeah, I loved Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is my first Fire Emblem game, and I really liked it. It had come out quite literally a month after I'd finished Persona 5, so the idea of having social links and having ties to your characters was something that I was really interested in. I think it has a really fun story. I think that, obviously, I think a lot of the gripes for most Fire Emblem fans was that the combat was really simplified and it wasn't as complex as it used to be. But I think as an entry level game into the series, I think it's actually does a really good job of introducing you to its mechanics. I think it's a very good game. I like it quite a bit. Yeah. Obviously, Kyle, I know you're not a huge fan of the combat in this one.
It's a fine game. I just got bored of it. I wasn't really finding anything interesting, and maybe, just maybe, that's a side effect of the path I chose to go down. I went down Golden Deer. Maybe the Golden Deer squad is boring. Who knows?
Yeah, I did
But
Black
I've never
Eagles, and
felt
I did Black Eagles, and I had a great time.
I have just never felt a need to want to go back and try and
I
test my
will
theory.
I will 100% say though that game has a really slow burn on its story. Like the second half of its story is really strong, but the first half is literally like pissing about simulator. Like nothing happens for a good 12, 14 hours. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
When's the there's the plot. Oh, there it is.
There's
It showed up. But at the end I think the story's really strong.
I'm sure it is, but
I really like
I don't know. Just couldn't get into it.
That's fair. But I really like the elements that I really like that you obviously you've got these 3 paths that you can go down. And what I love about this game is we've talked about it on the podcast before, is that it's like everybody's morally gray, where it's like there's every route you go down, you do not feel like you're playing the antagonist route. You do not think that, okay, if I'm going down X route, the game doesn't make it out to be like, oh yeah, you're definitely playing the bad guys here or the good guys here. It's like everything is like, it works together, where it works quite well. Where it's like, oh, if you go down that route, you'll believe you're in the right. Like, you're on your path and you'll be 100% in it. But then when you look at it from the other side, oh yeah, maybe I was the arsehole. Or maybe, you know, it's I like that. I think it's good how it manages to give you enough information on your path that you can... It makes every playthrough feel valid, which I like quite a bit. Unless you're Golden Deer, apparently that's boring as fuck. I don't know.
Surely
That's
the
what
deer
counts,
have got to be more valid than the church.
Maybe.
I mean, the Deer Squad, the characters, I love them in Golden Deer. They're all a bunch of goobers and they're
Yeah.
funny. But their plot was very meandering.
Well, I think that
It
also...
felt like
Yeah.
It felt like Blue and Red had a reason to be there, and then the Upside Down Man was just there because they needed a third.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can
Fire
see
Emblem
that.
2 Houses doesn't have the same kind of ring.
Exactly.
And
the character designer made too many characters.
A
And they couldn't
split
fit them all
path
in
2
one
ways
place.
was their gimmick for the last 3DS game too. So
yeah.
I feel like the wild thing is I think no matter what you thought about Three Houses, I think everybody's opinion on it very much was, that's a good starting point. Use that as a jumping point to improve the gameplay and just make an overall better game. And they went with
And then they made
Engage.
Engage.
which went backwards on everything.
Oops.
Really, oops, all
Oops,
garbage.
Lamau.
Oopsie poopums. We'll get to that later.
You want the ugliest protagonist ever?
With a dog shit story and gameplay that is marginally better. Ooh, maybe. See you later. See you in 2020. Maybe. Astral Chain. Next up, and another platinum banger. Back when Platinum made video
Yeah.
games that weren't dog shit. Remember those days?
Oh, before the great fall of Babel, yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Astral Chain? Another game that I own that I haven't played.
Hunter, you want to take this one?
Astral Chain had a lot of cool things going on with it. It's one of those ones where for every good thing it had also had some kind of minor annoyance that also existed about it. Like its pacing was not great. They did the thing where they split the protagonist into character you play as being Silent Dork, and then the character that you didn't choose being the one who says everything. I don't like it when games do that.
I love that.
But as like a action game, it's definitely better than a lot of what they turn in for. This is in the case of good platinum, bad platinum. This is firmly in the good platinum camp. I think it's very solid as far as like the Legion idea was cool. I think that had room to grow. It'd be nice to see if it ever did, but
I'm really surprised we never did see an Astral Chain 2.
Well, Nintendo still owns the IP, so if Platinum just cannibalizes itself in the coming years, they'll ask someone else to do it, maybe.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and this might be just me spreading misinformation here, but yeah, Hunter's right that they own the IP. And I thought there were some little rumblings of Nintendo taking whatever a sequel was internal. So
I don't.
There was some rumblings about Astral Chain being worked on, but not by Platinum, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, which would be fair enough. This might be one of those situations where it might have been the start of something, and because I never heard more of it, I was just kind of like, whatever.
I could be.
But yeah,
I mean, I'm seeing a Reddit post on gaming leaks and rumors from 4 months ago.
Oh wow.
That says where the title is just "I have information about Astral Chain 2 and Platinum."
Classic.
So
but
I'm not reading all of this, but do with that what you will. Y'all can go search that out and do your own research if you feel inclined.
But yeah, I think it had the solid groundwork for something that could be way better with a follow up. I don't know if the bones are still there, if it's taken this long to get there without someone immediately going to work up from that, but I'd still play a second one if they make it.
Yeah. I thought that like the aesthetics of Astral Chain were really cool. I actually do remember this was like this game came out like a week after I moved back into college for my senior year, so this was one of the first games that I picked up when I got back. And there's a lot of stuff I do like. I remember the gameplay was fun until it got old.
Yeah,
And I think
there's not a
that's
whole lot
the
of
biggest
combo
problem.
variety or anything with that, and all the encounters would last a little too long.
Yeah, they did give you a lot of different legions you could use, but
they could only ever do like one thing was the problem.
Yeah.
Meh.
Being able to pet the dog legion was cool though.
Yeah,
That
their
was fun.
their mascot for the police station or whatever was great.
Lappy?
Lappy, yeah.
Yeah. Voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris.
Classic.
Because of course it was.
Okay.
No, Astral Chain it's cool. I've been saying this for like a lot of years on this show, but I do want to give it another playthrough just to kind of reassess my own thoughts on it.
I think we're on year 3 of that statement now, yeah.
One day I'll get to it.
Hell yeah. Next up, we'll repeat this joke because it went so well last time. There must be a DEI higher in the room, guys, because it's Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Am I right? But
yeah, classic.
I'm tired of this shit.
Huh.
I'm tired, boss. I'm real tired.
Why is the
Ugh.
internet so stupid? Link's Awakening.
Oh man, Link's Awakening was really cool.
I also
This
do
is-
want to make it
I
out.
never
If you
got-
are if you're a first time listener, that was me taking the piss out of people that say DEI high. Okay, not okay. Let's just make that clear. Okay, I'm woke, guys. I'm woke. Trust me, guys. I'm woke. Please trust. I think everybody's cool.
Grok, is this real?
Grok, is that true? Is he woke? Ugh. I got. Yeah. Is that true? Grok. Oh, I'll go purple. Anyway, Hunter,
Whoa.
Link's Awakening. Why have I got
Grok's trying to get him.
Grok? Grok, make me normal again. Grok, please. I can't
Please
feel
tell me
anything.
what to think.
Please tell me what to think.
Do my thinking for me, robot.
Grok, is Hunter a DEI higher? Please let me know.
Hunter is girl because long hair.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Oh,
Grok,
man,
is
yeah.
that true? Huh, Grok?
It's been a couple years since I've got that one, but yeah.
And that was Link's Awakening. ladies and
Anyway, I
gentlemen.
never got
Moving
the
on.
chance. I never got the chance to play the original version of Link's Awakening, so getting this remake here was a real cool thing for me because, like, I think this up until Echoes of Wisdom last year, this was my favorite of the top-down 2D type Zelda games that I had played up to that point. I think that the island that the game takes place on is really charming. I thought that the characters present were a lot of fun, and yeah, the typical burrs of the this style of Zelda game still existed, like the fact that I think the dungeons were super memorable or designed in a way that were overly interesting, but the last one was pretty good, and I thought the final battle was great. So, you know, take what you can get, and overall, it was still a really good time.
Hell yeah. After that was Ring Fit Adventure, October 2019. Again, that does not make sense to me. October 2019. That
I
felt
thought
like
this was a
summer game.
pandemic thing.
It was a pandemic thing, but I thought it came out in the summer.
No, I thought it was like a thing that came out during the
No,
pandemic. Not
people
just
wanted it during the pandemic because they couldn't go outside, but the Nintendo, they planned it perfectly. The October before. I bought Ring Fit Adventure. I played a little bit of it. I didn't play too much of it because not because I'm lazy, but because when I play video games, I like to sit down and play them properly. So the idea of playing a game for like 10 minutes every single day, like it's hard for me to keep routine. So it's a bit of a hard one for me, but I like Ring Fit. I think it's really clever, the stuff it does with the Ring Fit. The I can't remember what they call it. The Ring Con. That's it. The Ring Con. I think it's
That's what it's called.
yeah, it's called the Ring Con. There's some cool stuff that you can do with it. I like it. It's I think it's a better Wii Fit because it's an actual video game. And I think that's kind of cool.
And I think you can it actually exercises you, which is more than the Wii Fit did.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Does that work now? You two need to. What the fuck are your two internets doing? My internet's fine. It's not saying it's me.
Oh,
You two-
everything except for Discord is functioning at nominal presence here.
Well, maybe yeah.
You know, maybe this is Discord's fault.
Maybe it's Discord just
Yeah.
Discording. I apologize.
Maybe
guys.
it's all the
Discord's just a
AIs they added
communist.
to our server.
Maybe it's just maybe
That's
maybe.
a problem.
Oh well.
Grok
Anyway,
and the AIs.
At Gorg,
Grok.
is that real?
Is that real, dude? Is that real? Anyway, Luigi's Mansion was next, guys. Luigi's Mansion 3 came out. I was in
Epic.
America when this game came. Well, just after this game came out, so I bought it for the flight. And I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just not a Luigi's Mansion guy. This game is by far, and I still think it's true, I think this game is the best looking Nintendo Switch game from first party. I still stand by this. This game is freaking gorgeous. I don't care for the gameplay. Also, I don't know why when I raise my hand now, this webcam changes color. Look at that, dude. Like, what the hell is this magic? Wait, wait. Having too much fun. This is a disaster. Luigi's Mansion 3 is fine. I think it's fine. If you like Luigi's Mansion, you'll like Luigi's Mansion 3. I just get bored of these games within 5 hours, and the fact that they're like 20 hours is just too much. Like, too much Luigi's Mansion for me. But I was in America while this game came out. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield came out. Set in Tuesday Land. You play as a dog with a sword or a dog with a shield, and you kill some sheep. I believe that is the plot.
I think you're right.
Gen 8. The
Or
first,
moving on.
the first of two Pokemon generations. This time around. My opinion on Pokemon Sword and Shield: soundtrack's alright. It's better than Gen 7.
Toby Fox did a song.
That's about all I have to say, really. The plot is non-existent. I like the region. I think the wild area is garbage, and the plot goes nowhere. The end.
Yeah.
Middle of the pack Pokemon game. Like, not that great.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for the controversy surrounding the game, like no one would care about it.
Fans whining incessantly.
Yeah, like nobody would.
Nothing controversial about this game. What's on the outside?
Yeah, there would be nothing to talk about if it wasn't for the manufactured controversy of Dexit and Ocarina of Time trees.
True.
But like, I don't know. Sword and Shield, they're all right. I think this is probably the game on my Switch I put the second most amount of time into, because during the pandemic I decided to get really into competitive Pokemon. And
oh yeah, I remember that.
Dude, it was fun. Sword and Shield had a really fun competitive meta. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I grew to really like Dynamax as a feature. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I still think they should have been called Pokemon Big and Pokemon Chungus.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, but as someone who just you go, my opinion doesn't really matter.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, Game Freak did a good job supporting this game with post-launch content after the game came out and into the pandemic. I think they did a really good job handling keeping the online play going and basically like changing how the World Championship worked to get it to function in a lockdown. And I just I don't think Game Freak didn't necessarily do a lot of stuff correct with this game, but I think that they handled it post-launch very well, where they started adding in more of the older Pokemon, adding them back into the game, introducing new Pokemon, new forms of old Pokemon with like the Galarian legendary Kanto birds, new Reggie forms. I think the game is solid. I think it's fine.
Dude,
I like it a lot more than Scarlet and Violet.
I'm gonna have a controversial opinion here. I'm gonna rile up another one, dude.
Lay it on me.
I don't think Dexit was that bad of a thing.
No.
In fact, I genuinely think
no.
that wouldn't a Pokemon game actually have more personality if there were only certain Pokemon? So it's like, that Pokemon's back in this game. That's cool. Like not having everything available. I know from a competitive standpoint, that's why they're finally making like an actual competitive like game where you can just go into there and play Pokemon competitive.
Yeah.
But to me, that makes I feel like when you get into the point where you have over 1,000 Pokemon, you can't have every Pokemon in every game. Otherwise, you end up with characters.
Not sustainable.
It's not sustainable, and you end up with shitty animations and shitty quality. I'd much rather that they limited it to, each game has, obviously, you get your 100 or 150 new Pokemon, and on top of that, maybe 200, 300 of the old ones, mixture of different generations. There you go. But they've all got proper animations and a proper personality to them, and the game doesn't look like ass. That's what I'd prefer from a Pokemon game. Because then I'd be like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
Wooloo's back. I love Wooloo, little bastard. Bring him back. You know, like,
Yeah.
Look at him rolling around.
I think it's just people were throwing their shit out the pram for no real reason.
Yeah.
Boo hoo.
Like I said, it was all just manufactured drama. And granted, Game Freak's comments on it after the fact were not helpful either, but
Oh, totally.
I digress.
Oh well.
It was just people making a big stink about nothing. And again, if it wasn't for the Dexit drama, like, we'd have nothing to say on this game. This would just be
Yes.
another fine Pokemon game.
As someone who judges these games by just the new designs I get to look at from a distance, they provided some cool ones. Wooloo was neat. I liked Yamper.
Wooloo's neat.
The giant raven was awesome.
Corviknight, yeah, he's fucking
yeah.
sick.
It's definitely
Dracovish.
those are like the best of those Route 1 birds that exist. I don't
Dude,
know
yeah,
if
they
that's
just
where he
fucking
shows
drop
up,
a
but like,
Skarmory on you in Route 1. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Phalanx is neat. He's just a funny little guy.
yeah.
That's like 6 dudes all in a line. They're fucking hilarious. Yamper.
What I will
Um,
say is
The teapot.
yeah,
the
Teapot
teapot.
was that this game?
Spirit Tea?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Poltegeist.
Yeah, Poltergeist. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Some fun Pokemon. I will say though, happily say this: worst Pokemon logos. What are they? Like literally, like the fucking JPEG. You know, like the goofy little sword in the background with the dog head on it. They never looked good. Those logos never looked good. Especially when you come off of Gen 7.
Yeah,
I hate Gen 7 as much as I can, but those are cool logos.
Ayo.
The Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon logos, pretty sick logos for dog shit video games. Whereas Pokemon Sword and Shield, bleh, gross logos, bad.
Yeah, not gonna lie, the legendaries are also kind of sauceless.
Legendaries are also sourceless. I agree. And
Yeah.
then a couple of little random mini games to end off this year. Brain Training came back at the end of this year for some reason, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions Tokyo Mirage
Sharp?
Sessions FE Sharp Encore or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That was a Wii U port. It was there if you wanted to play it. They did not add a dub to that game. Still, when they decided to port it to Switch, they just bumped it over. There you go. And that's that.
Classic.
But that game doesn't have an English dub?
No. It's all
I don't know that.
all sub.
I also didn't know that.
Yeah.
Neat.
But yeah, I think year 3, stronger year, had a lot more going for it, obviously. But still, like I say, like that first year, well, you never beat that first year because of how strong it was with the amount of games that came out all in one span. It's crazy. Into COVID year. It's time for COVID, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
Just before
this won't be
COVID,
quick.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Kyle, do you have any opinions on Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX?
I love this game. I'm gonna be
Oh, yeah.
honest. I grew up on the original Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. I played the shit out of this game, like on the bus ride to school, on car rides with the family. I fucking love Mystery Dungeon so much.
Oh yeah.
And I was really glad to see this come back. Cause it's the original game with like modern sensibilities added. So like with like Gen 8 point of view. So like any Pokemon that's had their type changed. So like Clefairy and Jigglypuff are fairy types now.
Oh yeah.
And I think you could also like I think Eevee could evolve into Sylveon as well. So, they modernized it a little bit, but didn't like go all in with it. They didn't add in a bunch of new stuff. It is the same game that was on Game Boy/DS, but with a new coat of paint, and that old game was still really freaking good. And I'm glad that it's more readily available now.
Hell yeah. It's weird to me that because it's been 5 years since that they haven't done any of the other ones. I'm very surprised. I still think that I don't think they would be against it, but it's weird because I feel like especially Explorers of Sky, because Explorers of Sky had critically such a lukewarm response. But that game has grown a cult following ever since that game's released.
It got a huge following after the fact,
Where it
yeah.
might be quite possibly the most beloved Pokemon like spin-off game, like in terms of like actually like the diehard fans. Obviously, I know some fuckers like Pokemon Snap, but you already got that one. But you know, it's like, yeah, maybe we'll see it again someday.
I hope so. I hope more stuff happens with Mystery Dungeon.
Then after that,
The podcast
the
started.
podcast was born, dude. This is, if you're wondering how
We
long
did
it
it.
took,
We caught up.
we caught up, and then we'd have to do the rest because you can go and watch the homework.
Yeah, dude, go back and watch episode 1. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah,
I'm not there because I was still taking classes.
hell yeah. Animal Crossing New Horizons came out on the 20th of March, 2020. It started our podcast. And what can I say about Animal Crossing New Horizons other than New Leaf's better?
It's all right.
Yeah, New Leaf's better.
Fine.
Again, a classic of the Switch era for me is Nintendo game comes out, starts off bare bones, give it 2 years, turns out great, already out of there. I'm gone.
Yep.
Happy Home Paradise, that's cool. I'm gone. The Roost, that's nice. I'm gone. Dude, I left.
Froggy chair.
Yeah.
Froggy chair.
Dude, it doesn't matter what you say to me, dude. My villagers are dead. Isabel gone. Tom Nook fucking left the country avoiding taxes, dude. Bam's dead. The rest of my villagers, they're gone, dude. They're fucking gone. Timmy and Tommy are 18 and have moved out. That's how long it's fucking been. Like,
They took over your island.
yeah. Again, it should have just been such a slam dunk because all they had to do was make New Leaf but better. Like, that's all they had to do, is just take everything that was in New Leaf and just give it a fresh coat of paint and make a couple of better adjustments. But they just took so much out of it that I just sit there and I'm like, I liked Animal Crossing. I'm so grateful that Animal Crossing New Horizons came out when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. I don't think there was a better time for a game like that to come out when everything was going to shit. Just to have something to take your mind off of it and to piss about. Brilliant. Love it for that. And I still think it's a good game. It's just, New Leaf is so fucking incredible. It's like such a game. It's such a great game.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I definitely wouldn't have picked up New Horizons. But it was just like logging onto Twitter and seeing everyone fucking around on their islands, booting up my Switch, seeing everyone playing New Horizons. I'm like, what else? What else are you doing, Kyle? Come on, you can drop $60 on this. You're only going to be indoors for a couple weeks. What's the worst that happens?
And I think it's crazy that, Animal Crossing was already popular before this game came out. But looking at the list now of top selling games of all time on Switch, and seeing this is number 2. And the fun thing is, because I remember people saying this, is like, oh, it's because of COVID. And I'm like, that number just kept going. Like, after COVID, that number it stayed at number 2. It could have very easily have dipped down and Smash could have caught it back up. But no, it's like, Animal Crossing is huge now. Like, it is genuinely, like, it's probably Nintendo's, like, 3rd biggest IP now, behind Zelda and Mario. And even Zelda is, like, more of a gamers franchise, dude. It's a gamers franchise. Dude, it's more than top 5, dude. What are you putting above it? Let's be real here.
I don't know. I was just...
Pikmin? Are you a Miyamoto? Are you Miyamoto in disguise, dude?
Definitely not. I was just saying, like, I don't know.
You an MEI higher, dude? A Miyamoto higher, dude? I'm not having that, dude. Get out
potentially
get
Mario Smash...
Pikmin's not real.
Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Smash Bros. If I had to, like, come up with things that might be bigger.
Yeah. Well, Pokemon's its own beast, dude. Pokemon's bigger than everything Nintendo, like, combined. But yeah. It's weird, because Smash Bros, I'm like, yeah, Smash Bros is big, but that's like a gamer's game, you know what I mean? Like, that is like that's like the biggest a gamer's game can get. There's casual people playing it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, you're not getting your nan to play fucking Smash Bros.
Maybe not your nan.
Sorry,
your nan isn't cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, your nan's not a gamer.
She isn't. I'm not making the joke though. I'm
Doing
not...
wave dashing with Marth.
Kyle's man showed him Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking wish.
Anyway,
Uh,
we were all playing Animal
I think I
Crossing.
wouldn't tell that story all the time if that was true.
yeah.
We were all playing Animal
Man.
Crossing, and then the next game to come out during COVID year, which was pretty quiet, all things considered. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out. A full remake of the original Xenoblade Chronicles. Kyle, thoughts and opinions on the remake of Xenoblade Chronicles? Other than Future Connected being dog shit.
It is a remake of Xenoblade Chronicles that
If
you
you-
can play
if
on
you-
your
if you-
Nintendo
yeah.
Switch.
If you like Xenoblade Chronicles, you're going to love this. Like, you're going to like it. Like, if this is what you... Yeah. If you love the original, you're going to love this. Future Connected is absolutely awful. Like, it's really bad. Like, ugh.
It was a choice that you can also do. It is nice that you can go do that right out of the box. You don't need to beat the game to unlock Future Connected. So if you've already played the original, you could just go right to the new stuff.
And I liked it. Like,
Imagine-
yeah. Sorry, Hunter, go on.
Imagine dropping the money just to do Future Connected, and then that's what you got.
I know, that's depressing.
Yeah.
I think I like Xenoblade Chronicles a lot. It's my least favorite of the three.
Same.
Yeah.
But it's still really fucking good.
I still think it's great. I just feel like, yeah, the story just doesn't hit as well for me, and the gameplay is the worst of the three by far. And I think there's just a load of gameplay decisions sometimes where I'm like, you know what? I didn't need an hour climb up of Button Valley, dude. That's not a section of the video game that I was like, oh,
Nah.
I'm thrilled to climb up the entirety of the Meconis. Like, that's great. Like, it's just, there's a load of weird bits of that game where I'm like, I respect it, but also I can tell you're the oldest, and I think they learnt their lesson each time they made a new one. So it's definitely ended up at the bottom of the pile for me, personally. But it's still good. It's like saying, oh no, this one's an 8 out of 10 when the others are a 9 and a 10. Like, oh, boo-hoo, like, cry me a river, dude.
Yeah.
Still pretty fantastic. Future Connected is dog shit, though, and I will not live that down. Like, genuinely. I was like, oh, that was alright. Getting to Future Connected, I'm like, oh, this is bad. No, what the... You brought Jenna Coleman back for this? What?
Look,
Gave
It was
Shulk
all-
a cool new outfit, and for what?
Genuinely.
Look, it was fine though, because a week later, True Peak released
51
the best
worldwide
game
classics, dude. Yeah.
of all time.
Clubhouse Games. What a game. I love Last Card.
Unironically,
You
this
love
is probably
Last
like a
Card.
top 10 Nintendo
You
Switch
love
game
Last
for
Card.
me.
It's great. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I love Clubhouse Games. It's fantastic. I think it's really funny that the lore behind half of us buying this video game is Ethan really likes Tycoon and Persona 5 Royal. Yeah, I think that's in Clubhouse Games. Oh, I've bought it. Like, that is, there you go. That is literally the lore. Is we bought it to play Tycoon and multiplayer, and then we just ended up playing everything else as well. But no, it's fantastic. I love Clubhouse Games.
Yeah. It's a really good game night game.
Yeah.
The amount of rage that has been had at that game in multiple
Whether it's Ludo or Uno. Yeah.
Ludo,
Like,
Last
Bro,
Card.
we were just talking about this. We were just talking about this in DMs earlier this week. But like, just talking about the game, I'm like, I want to play this now. I want to have game night
Yeah.
again.
If
Yeah.
Where's
watching
Sam?
clips back,
Bring
me
him
be
back
like,
from the
"Oh,
dead."
I could do that. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we'll have to try him. But yeah, it's a great game. If you haven't played it, check it out. Grab a couple of friends. It was a good time.
Yeah. I think the only like the biggest negative I can say to it is that like 4-player multiplayer games, there's only like 7 available. You don't have a lot of choices, so
They're good choices though. I don't care. They're good choices.
they are
All you
good.
need is
and
Last
they're a lot
Card.
of fun.
All you need is Last Card, Ludo, and Tycoon. That's all you need. There you go. You got a great night there.
Yeah.
What wasn't a great night though for many a fan was Paper Mario: The Origami King. That came out in July. All I hear about this is it's better than Color Splash and Sticker Star, but not like it's still in that you know, it's still not as good as the originals.
To borrow a phrase from Hunter, good job clearing the 2 centimeter bump you had to get over.
Yeah,
Cause good golly. I don't get why modern Paper Mario is like this. Why they need to make every every battle like a 20-step process to stomp a Goomba. Like I don't get what the point of making it like a puzzle sliding like a slide puzzle.
yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, Paper Mario was never my jam anyway, but it's just like Paper Mario fans just
Haha.
like I don't. Yeah, people are just like, it's a little bit better. I'm like, okay, that's nice. You guys keep moaning about how much you hate Sticker Star. That's fine. Off you go. It was
I
certainly
mean, we
a video
forgive
game.
because I mean, like I said, and we did get Thousand Year Door remake eventually, so
Yeah.
it's just a shame we had to put up with a bunch of schlock to get it, but we live, we laugh, we love.
This coming out is what inspired me to pick up, or it's what inspired Sam to pick up Bug Fables, which is what inspired me to pick up Bug Fables a couple weeks later.
Huh.
So,
And that game's still on my to-do list.
oh, it's a good one. I liked it quite a bit.
I've heard. I just keep forgetting about. Oh, sorry, I just keep forgetting about it.
Next up, something that you didn't really see from Nintendo ever again either, which is interesting, but they teamed up with an indie studio to make a game based off one of their IPs. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer featuring The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, it was Necrodancer with a Zelda-inspired palette, which was interesting. Pretty good, from what I've heard.
That is really cool.
I never
I
really...
thought this came out in 2019.
Nope, 23rd of October 2020 on Nintendo's website.
Weird.
That might be the original Necrodancer.
No, the original Necrodancer sooner than that, because I remember it being like nominated at the Game Awards for Best Score.
Oh, hang
and
on.
me being
Well,
like,
well,
all right, Death
maybe
Stranding.
this is the physical release then, because yeah, apparently you're right, Hunter.
Maybe.
It was 2019 digitally. Nintendo's own website wrong. Anyway, the game's getting featured now because it says that's when it was on the
Alright.
website. Nintendo.com. We're getting off Nintendo.com, by the way, so this isn't some games journalist problem. This is Nintendo. Got their own dates wrong. Anyway. That's alright. The game's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks cool. I've always wanted to give it a try, but never been presented with much of a opportunity.
Next up, October 2020. Miyamoto strikes back. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. He decided to ram this thing down your fucking throats, everybody. All 3 Pikmin fans rejoiced as yet again another Pikmin entry released. Part of the top 5, by the way. Big 5. Pikmin, am I right, guys? Hell yeah. We all love Pikmin in this household. Never played Pikmin, and I don't really care for like the idea for it. So, any
Also
Pikmin
never
fans?
played Pikmin.
Hunter, you a Pikmin
Hades
fan?
came to consoles a month before that, so that was what
Yeah,
a lot of
and
other...
as we all know, Pikmin and Hades share the same demographic, so no one else played it. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pikmin's fine. It just, it just feels forced. You know what I mean? Where it's like where
Industry
Nintendo's like,
plant.
it literally plant.
Yeah.
Anyway, November 2020. That also doesn't feel right. Are these right? Hyrule Warriors was not a 2020 game, right?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
It was like it was the second review I made.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I just thought you were being really late. Anyway, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity came out and asked the question, what if we released a game on Switch that ran at negative 5 FPS? That game played so bad that sometimes it'd rewind, dude. Like, that was crazy, you know? Like, that was weird.
That's why it was a prequel.
Yeah. This game was fine, but man, did it run like absolute dog shit. Like, my God, I've never played. Like, my one hope for this next one is stable frame rate, please? Maybe? Ugh. It was an interesting one.
December 12th, or December 9th, 2020 was Hunter's review.
Yeah, and it came out like a few weeks before that, because I was playing it during my Thanksgiving break from work.
Yeah, it was November 20th, 2020. The game's fine. I still can't
I
tell if
liked
this
it. It
game was
did a
supposed to be
cool.
canon or not. I just consider it not because it didn't make any fucking
No.
sense. Um,
And even if it was, I think Tears of the Kingdom erases it from canon.
Again, that's fine.
Yeah.
I like how we're just gonna do this
Uh,
back and forth until the either studio dies.
but like, no, it seems like a weird alt history thing, and in some ways, the way it's funny because like, not what I wanted. I would have preferred to get like the Crisis Core ending for this game, but um, by the time they got to where it should have ended, I was pleased to see that they went a different direction because they were about to fumble that. So
Yeah. And then finally, well, so let's not forget fitness, boxing, rhythm, and exercise that came out. Can't forget that. But yeah, big
boy.
final one of this year was Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. One of, if not the best Wii U port, in my opinion, anyway, for Nintendo Switch. Because not only did you get 3D World, which is already a fantastic 3D Mario game. Love 3D World. Great game. You got full online for your multiplayer modes. You could play this game entirely online if you felt like it. Wow. Incredible. Wonderful. They also gave you a whole separate fucking game that they made on top of it called Bowser's Fury, which was like a 5-hour 3D Mario game, which was also fantastic. What a game. Why didn't they do this all the time?
Hell yeah.
Also, I'm just remembering. When did this come out? Yes, I knew it. We missed a game in this year as well. And why is it not on Nintendo's website? Because it's the only game on Nintendo Switch, ladies and gentlemen, that released and then Uno reversed that 6 months later. Mario 3D All-Stars, September 18th, 2020, came out and then unreleased itself 6 months later. So they even erased it from the website. How kind of them. 64 Sunshine and Galaxy.
Books.
Yeah.
Do what you want. You can try Nintendo, but I have the proof. It's back here somewhere.
Yeah, same. But out of all of the 3D releases that came that year, 3D World and Bowser's Fury was probably the best one. It was pretty great. Whereas 3D All-Stars kind of sucked. It's also really funny now because as of the GameCube Switch Online stuff happening, that means that 2 of the 3 will be back on the Switch anyway. Oh well. Yeah.
It's okay. You're gonna have to wait for them to get to the Wii Online for you to be able to play Galaxy 2 ever.
True. I'll get to
Yeah.
it. Anyway, any thoughts on COVID era? It genuinely was just mainly Animal Crossing, eh? Like there were some bits and pieces, but
Yeah, it was
nothing,
Animal
like...
Crossing for you guys, and then Hades for
Clubhouse
me, and
games.
Clubhouse games
Yeah.
in between.
That's crazy. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought that year was pretty mid, this is quite possibly 2021 is quite possibly the worst Nintendo Switch year. Quite possibly. Let's break it down. New Pokemon Snap in April. Did anyone play Pokemon Snap? I didn't even get this because I was like,
I drafted it in my
brother-
fantasy league.
It got you the same amount of points as Scarlet Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus.
dude, I don't know.
My
if this
brother
is,
picked it up last year for the holidays, so there is a copy of it in the premises somewhere, but I did not play it myself.
Dude, I don't know. Controversial take from me. Most games include a photo mode for free. That's my why. Like people have been waiting for this game to come back. This should have been just like a, like how you used to have like what's it, like the talent shows in like Pokemon Diamond, like the fashion like things like this.
Yeah, the contest.
The contest. This just screams to me as like a side thing that you go to a photo area and you just like have a little photo character. Like this is just a mini game that should be in a Pokemon by now, not a full blown thing that cost you $60. But that's just me. It seems very bizarre, but people were happy enough, I guess. I forgot this even got a port. Miitopia got a port from 3DS in 2021 for some reason. Wow. Did anyone pick that up? Let me know. Nintendo published DC Superhero Girls Teen Power, whatever the hell that is. That also came out this year. You can tell this is such a good year, guys. We're getting through it. We're already in June. Game Builder Garage was like a little mini coding thing. Game Builder Garage, to me, felt like a Nintendo Labo that they just removed the cardboard and just sent it out as a little thing, you know?
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember this thing. I was like, oh, well, that's silly.
Or it's like that Sony Dreams game.
Yeah, it was. It was exactly like that. Except the thing that Dreams did that this didn't, which I'm baffled by, you couldn't share your games on this online. You could send them to people locally, but you couldn't do it online, which was really bizarre. They should have done that because then there'd be an actual. You could play people's
That
games.
was a
Very
choice.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
Anyway, next up, it's the Hunter Power Hour. Mario Golf Super Rush Hunter. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I liked this the most out of the sports games. It's the one that we still play when my siblings congregate together and whatnot. The things they added afterwards were neat. I like New Donk City as a course. I like some of the other courses they added on afterwards. The adventure mode was all right. At least it let you still be playing golf. It made for a good backdrop to me to listen to the Black Veil Bride's discography during. But um aside from that, Ninja was added afterwards. That was cool. But yeah, overall, still like I like the N64 game more. I like the GameCube game more. Functional,
Yeah.
but still not as charming.
As far as I'm aware, like a lot of people love the 3DS one as well. So it was like the last, proper, again, people really loved that. So it's just again another classic Nintendo example of it's here. It's not better than the last
The
one,
thing
but it's
that's
here.
kind of annoying is like even with some of the courses they added with like the pizzazz later, like the all-star course where you're like the courses are shaped like, Mario characters, like you'll be shooting the holes will be like on Bowser's nose and stuff, is that it's like half measures because you'll play like 9 holes and then it'll be like the other 9 holes will be located in just different spots on the same course rather than being like 9 more holes. So you'll see like the same big image of Waluigi and Wario hanging out, and you'll have hit the ball to like 4 different locations across the 2 of them.
Yeah. I don't know what they would Switch 2, guys. Step up these Mario sports games, guys. Come on, you can do it. Make a good one.
Give us another baseball game.
I dare you.
Someone I know keeps asking for one of those. I'm like, man, just let them sit it out because they've all been lame anyway.
I either want baseball or collaborate with Square Enix for another basketball game again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. Then Zelda returns once more with The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, July 2021.
Yeah.
It asked the question, what if you could play a game built with motion controls? With controller?
Better way to play it.
The answer might surprise you.
Yeah.
See, for years beforehand, I was like, just let you control the sword with the stick. As wouldn't you know who won the pony? That's what they did.
You still didn't do it properly though, because it was like
yeah, it's weird that
the buttons are
you had to
still
press the
shit.
extra button
Yeah.
to control the camera instead of you should have had to press the extra button to swing the sword.
Yeah, that was so dumb that they were like,
whatever.
Yeah, people are gonna want to swing their sword while they're exploring more than move the
I was
camera.
mildly shocked that you could control the camera at all.
Yeah.
I mean, my
Give it
thing
like
was
Ocarina of Time Z targeting.
my thing is
Yeah.
the game never. People bitched about that instantly. The game never got a patch to even put that in the options menu as a toggle. Like that's Like you gotta give up to Nintendo, dude. They stick to their fucking guns, dude. They're like, no, you will play with dog
Dude,
shit.
I'm pretty sure with the ports of other things, they don't give it a second thought after they release it.
No.
Yeah. Classic.
But I played it while I was on vacation. I remember doing that. I liked it just as much as, well, even more from a functional I like playing games on a controller more than I like waving my wrist around. So, still as good as I remembered it being.
When I gave it
All
the
the
Ethan
parts I
special,
enjoyed
I
were
played it
great.
3 hours and I dropped it off back at daycare,
Yeah.
and then never picked it back
I
up,
didn't.
dude. I went to the shops and I never came back for it.
I'll do you one better. I never even picked this game up.
You played the original though, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, well, there
And
you go.
it's a game I've never felt a need to want to go back to. I liked my first playthrough, and that's how I want to leave it.
That's fair. Anyway, next up, it technically, you know, it came to other places later, but it started out here. No More Heroes 3, released on Nintendo Switch
Oh, yeah,
in
that's
a
right.
dog shit
Oh,
state in
unfortunately.
2021. You know, another game that asked the question. I said it was a low, but you know, it was another game that asked the question: what if we could run at -5 frames per second? And that's because the game chased you down. You tried to get away from it, and it was like, no, come back.
Yeah.
You two are pretty,
You see,
yeah, well,
if I was
whelmed.
committed to making reviews for games, just anything I had finished, this would have been the first hesitant that I gave. But
Mhm.
yeah, like there are good parts of this game, like the actual like levels and such, well constructed. The boss fights, the boss fights and like the God,
The
they're
gameplay itself is really fun.
yeah, like actually
It's a fun game to play.
the combat itself is the best it's ever been in across the 3 games. The problem is that the actual like gameplay loop of going to generic place to do generic mission to earn the right to pay the money to fight the next boss is dog water, and they should not have brought it back
Yep.
because it's like they imported the same map from the first game with 0 updates for modern sensibilities either. It looks exactly the same, except they made it bigger somehow.
Yeah. And I mean, what I loved about No More Heroes 2 was that it did away with needing to pay for like a fight entry fee that the
Yeah.
first game had, and then they just decided to bring that back for this game.
Hell yeah.
I never saw past the second boss. I could not be bothered.
I beat the whole thing. So then, like, bosses were good. Gameplay loop in between was real bad.
Yeah.
They massacred my boy Henry.
Oh no. Not Henry.
Dude, he was so cool in the other games, and for some reason I don't remember his whole deal, but he like joined a cult or something,
Of course he did.
and he
It
didn't.
sounds like something he would do.
Yeah, I was like, what gives? Why did they do him like this?
Okay, moving on. Definitely didn't do something bad there. It's still laggy. I don't know why we would fucking try. Like, my god, thank you, Discord, and or these two fucking hillbilly chumps internet. I love this, dude. Let's get going. WarioWare Get
Let's
It
blame
Together
Discord.
was 2021. The worst of the two WarioWare games. God, I did not like this one. I played the demo quite a bit because I'm a huge WarioWare fan, and I did not jam with this at all. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with this one, really. It was like, oh, what if instead of playing the mini games, you control a chibi version of the character on the screen to do them? It was just not very good. But a game that was very good came out in October afterwards. Probably one of the very few bright spots of 2021 for Nintendo Switch. Metroid Dread, ladies and gentlemen.
Easily Nintendo's best game that year, and my favorite of the Metroid games I've played so far. Still, like we'll never see the light of day of that bracket we did, but if the 7 hours, it's a real good 7 hours. Was
Yeah.
what Ethan and I kept going back to when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
It's
only Metroid game I played properly, and I liked it a lot.
yeah.
Which is saying something because I don't jive with Metroidvanias. So the fact that Metroid Dread managed to hook me in, and I did finish it, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a really well put together game. Gets increasingly more intense the further you get in a way that's very satisfying.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's a good game, but I'd also prefer to play Super Metroid if I was gonna replay a Metroid.
Hmm.
Nothing against Dread, that's just like personal preference.
Next up, Mario Party Superstars, same month.
Hey.
Superstars was a return to form for Mario Party. 5 classic boards with the classic gameplay loop back installed with loads of lovely old mini games. Good Mario Party.
The
Hooray!
best one on the console.
This game's
Hooray!
awesome.
Kyle's Game of the Year in 2021, according to our Game of the Year episode.
Yeah, I should. You know what? Fuck it. I stand by it. Who cares, dude?
Guilty Gear came out that year, Kyle.
Sure did. I didn't have friends to play Guilty Gear with, though.
Didn't stop you
So-
from putting 7,000 hours into it.
Yeah, but I had more fun with Mario Party
That's so
Superstars.
funny.
Fair enough, I guess. But yeah, this is the one I play
This
with.
game brought me more joy.
I play this with my siblings when we congregate too. Usually, it never fails to at least cause some element of silliness, whether it's being trapped on the first stretch of the space board or a classical House Revolution when I'm at 10 coins already.
Well, regardless, congrats to Mario Party Superstars for winning one Game of the Year award from us. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe it's only Game of the Year award that it won that year, but hey, it got one.
The thing that's crazy to me
guys-
about this one is that they didn't ever add more.
And do a DLC.
Nah, they
I
just
know, right?
dropped it and left it.
It's crazy.
Classic Nintendo move.
Anyway, who's ready for dog shit? Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out in November. Genuinely, and I say this with pleasure, the worst Pokemon games ever made. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
The
Worse
worst.
than Hey You Pikachu.
They massacred my boy. What a dog shit video game. Like, I'm sorry, if you like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you are blinded by nostalgia because they are bad, bad video games. This is coming from someone who loves Gen 4, by the way. I adore Gen 4 with all my heart. I've never been so angry at a video game like being as bad as it is. Like, genuinely, just broken, garbage, runs terribly. Like, its art style is the least of its problems. It's not good. But hey, if it died so we got the next Pokemon game, whatever, dude, you know? I'll take it.
That's valid. The next one was pretty good.
Anyway, next game on the list. Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain, everyone's favorite. Who's got the biggest brain?
How big is your brain?
Oh, mine's the biggiest.
How many wrinkles are in your brain?
At least 5.
At least 12.
Anyway, next full release from Nintendo. I don't want to. So I was gonna say next proper release.
The
but I didn't
next
wanna...
real game.
Yeah, the next real game. Sorry, Brain versus Brain fans. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arguably, in my opinion, the best Pokemon game on the console. I love this
I would
game, dude.
agree.
It made up for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl being piles of steaming dog shit, dude. Like, genuinely, Legends Arceus, beautiful video game. I adore it. The first time Pokemon has tried to innovate in the mainline franchise in about 15 years. I loved it. I think it's fantastic. It has set a bar now where, you know, I'm looking at Legends ZA later this year and I'm going, you're not meeting it yet. You got some work to do, Buckaroo. Like, get a move on. Just fantastic. Genuinely, I love everything about it. I love Hisui. I love the soundtrack. I love the open zone kind of design. I love how it's integrated the classic Pokemon formula with the exploration of the Let's Go games and just kind of turning catching more into a mechanic than a fighting system. Like, there's so much about that game that I really appreciate that it annoys me that so many people haven't played it because people are sitting there going, "Oh, I loved exploring in Scarlet and Violet." I'm like, wow, imagine doing it in a game that's actually feature complete. Go over to Legends Arceus and have a good time. Like, it's crazy.
Ride around in the gentle care of your Sneasler.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh,
Is that what that thing was called?
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately.
Cal, you reviewed Arceus for us.
I did.
Yeah.
I think I reviewed it in like April,
Yeah.
but who cares? No, this game's awesome. I don't remember what I said back in my review, but I did have a lot of fun with it. Um, I just like how everything in it is super streamlined. I like that it's a game that's very easy to digest. It's not like one massive open world, but like 5 small individual zones.
Hmm.
So, it never feels like too overwhelming. I like that there's just giant level 60 Pokemon running around that'll kill you if you
Yeah.
get too close to them. The final boss of this game is absolutely fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no.
game's just
Yeah.
really, really well done.
It also has quite possibly the best Pokemon like box art because it's the only one like because it's they give it
The only one that isn't
that
just
yeah
Pokemon.
Pokemon JPEG. Yeah, it's fantastic. In fact, I'd go so far to say that it's the only good box art for Pokemon on Nintendo Switch other than Mystery Dungeon, probably. Like, it's actually a piece of artwork and not just random JPEG of Pokemon.
Are you telling me this is better than Screaming Dialga and Palkia?
Yeah, dude, I don't care. Palkia's having a raging shit, dude, and I don't blame them because like that game is
Dialga's passing a
awful. Yeah.
kidney stone.
Palkia is passing that video game through their anus, dude. Like, it's gone. That's how that game was made. Palkia shut out that video game, and you can tell.
That's how it feels, dude.
Oh,
That's
God.
how Ilka did it, dude.
That will be that will be the sentence that if we had monetization would have got us demonetized right there. Anyway, that is 2021. Yeah, really, like Legends Arceus and Dread really boosted that year because otherwise Mario Party's
That was
good,
it.
but Mario Party is Mario Party, like you get
Yeah.
5 of them in a cycle, you just live with it. 22. Not gonna lie, started out with a banger. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The first 3D Kirby game, like mainline 3D Kirby game. And it was really well received. I have played a little bit of it, and then I never got back around to it. And I'm gonna get back around to it with the Switch 2 edition. That's like, it's my shining star now. I'm like, yes, I'll play it again. Now I've got a reason to play it again with the new DLC and the Switch 2 edition. But I've heard nothing but great things about this game. So I'm excited to play it when I get around to it later this year. Oh, look at this look at this. It's like between Kirby and another game that was also fantastic.
You
You got
seeing the blood rotation.
yeah, dude. You got this. It's like what a riot.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
Nintendo Switch Sports. What a spicy game. Spicy. Why? Why did you make a
Why is
game
this
that
game
has
rated E10? Wait, what?
Yeah, it's because you can play online. That'd be my guess. Why did they yassify Wii Sports, dude? What did they do? Dude, they scrapped the Mii's and brought in the Wii's. Am I right, everybody? Like, that's just these ugly fuckers. Like, my problem with this game is that like Nintendo, like, Wii Sports Resort was like Wii Sports but better. And then this game was like just a backstep again to just a menu with 5 sports on it. Like, why? It was a fun gimmick for about 5 hours when I played it, and then I was like, I'm never gonna play this again, am I? And yeah, I never played it again. Like 3 days after launch. They kept adding to it though.
For the basketball update.
I didn't. They kept adding to it though. Fair play to them. But yeah, I expected a bit more. Maybe in
My
Nintendo
favorite
Switch
thing
Sports
was
too.
the direct that it was announced at, I believe we had a live reaction, or at least we were all sitting on call with the web cameras on, and you had a recording of it that you used to be the intro to the podcast episode following that, and the intro was you celebrating.
Yeah, I lost my shit, dude. We all lost our
Yeah.
shit. We all went caveman on that shit, dude. We all started primal screeching because Nintendo Switch Sports had been announced.
And it was very funny that immediate 3 days following that, it was like, well, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, because it was like,
Oh wait, this stinks.
like, oh yeah, we can play bowling battle royale, and then it's like, oh look at all these skins and stuff like that. But it's like, it's so bare bones. Again, I think everyone was expecting like a Wii Sports resort, like, you know, an actual area to explore, like Spocko Square being an actual place, like a PlayStation Home aspect to it, you know, Hunter, where you can like walk around and see what everyone's like, a Splatoon
Yeah.
aspect to it, like walk around the
Yeah.
square, see what people are doing, go to the shops, buy some gear, some fun stuff like that. It was just a menu, like it was just like we expecting a little bit more, but you know, it was not as bad as Mario Strikers Battle League. Oof, stinky. Oof. What
This
a
game
tragedy.
literally has nothing to do with it besides play soccer against the same permutation of opponents. Like, you can set up a tournament bracket and you will see the same people rotate in every other game. It's dumb. It's
I'm
not
not
even, there's not a half-baked adventure mode. There's not other modes to try that. Like, this is just mask up, they quit.
Dude, if this game was made by anybody else other than Nintendo, like it would have been like the biggest clown show on the planet. Like it would have been like Concord levels of laughing at hysterics because there's nothing here. Because this game literally has
Honestly, though.
nothing. It
Like,
literally
the
just
one
gets
where-
the Nintendo free pass because it's a Nintendo
It has 10 seconds of an animation of Waluigi doing the Conor McGregor walk if he scores. That's pretty funny, but that's about it.
And the whole gimmick was like, oh, two halves of the pitch, like merge of the two different worlds or whatever. And it was like, it doesn't matter. It didn't make a difference.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what the difference was because I
only,
don't think there was any.
And there's only like
Because,
4 stages, so there wasn't even that big of a permutation on it. It was very dumb.
Yeah, you would see all possible things like right after you would run out of all possible opponents to play against.
Dog shit video game. Anyway, next up, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, a game I bought and I did not play. Again,
That's the spirit.
I heard that this game was all right. I heard it was, you know, pretty decent, and from the little bit I played of the demo, I actually liked it quite a bit. It's just came out at a bad time, and I just didn't have time to get around to it properly. I can't remember if there was a different game that came out at the same time on a different console, but yeah, it's just, again, it's another one of those games where it's just like, oh, I'll get around to you eventually, he says, and then never does.
He says knowingly.
Yeah. Oh well. You know, I like to act like I'm at least going to give it a try. You know. Just
You like the idea.
I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea of playing it. But hey,
I think at some point in the previous months, the Triangle Strategy was released to be the second installment of Square Enix's HD 2D saga of the console.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Because, because we're definitely in the free and competent era of the podcast, and that was the episode I said that on.
Yeah. Also, Nirvana Initiative AI The Somnium Files was also released on the same day as Fire Emblem Warriors. Fun fact.
Oh, no, you were late.
That'll do it.
I was
later
late to that, so I didn't play it. But
well,
I think I was. I think I was in my Game Pass era. I think this is when I was in my Game Pass era.
We're probably playing the first Omnium.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Anyway, July 29th, 2022. Big
Peak
one
release.
for weebs everywhere. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 released. Yeah, this is my favorite Xenoblade game. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. I 100%ed it. I just went out and did it. I just 100%ed it on my own. No reason, no trophies, no nothing. Just did everything.
No trophies, no achievements.
I just
Just
did.
did it for the
God on
love of the
everybody.
game.
But no, I think this game is fantastic, and I think it finally showed at least the world that, oh, Monolith actually is a really great developer. I think everybody, again, never be a fan of anything online because you just see the worst in people. But I remember seeing so many people bitch about, oh, Jeff Keighley, Xenoblade 3 is never going to win Game of the Year. Yeah, of course it isn't. But the fact that the nomination was the win, that was the win. The nomination was the win. The fact that
we
it
all
got
knew.
a nomination is huge for a game like this. Like, it genuinely is, because JRPGs that aren't big Square Enix games, or I guess Atlas now, it wasn't very common for them to get Game of the Year nom, so it was huge. This game's fantastic, though. I love this game. It's brilliant.
It's great. It truly feels like a Xenoblade game made for normal people
Yeah,
to digest and understand. Anyone can pick this game up and get a feel for how the combat works. You can pick this up totally devoid of any knowledge of the other two Xenoblades. You'll get more out of it if you know about the other two, but you can play this on its own as a standalone.
and it's like
I think
at that point, it's like I genuinely would recommend it. It's like if you do just want to play one Xenoblade game, then just play Xenoblade 3. That's the one that you should probably play. It has the best story. It has the best gameplay.
That's what I tell people to do is play this one because the story is the best and the battles move at a pace that is faster than Continental Drift. So
and it comes with an easy mode baked in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
just
and multiple save files. Wow, it loads so much.
Set all of your party members to the double shooty class and have a good time.
Yeah.
Half your class is dual sword, half your other team is dual guns.
That is the way to go.
I'm just sitting there praying for that Switch 2 patch, dude. Come on, baby, give me peak twice. I'll buy it again. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Give me the stupid box art with the stupid blurb on the bottom. I'll buy it. Fucking bet, mate. Bet. I'll do it.
I don't know if this is gonna show up later on the list or not, but Future Redeemed, the DLC for this, also great.
Yeah,
it's a very short, self-contained story.
Very short, still 16 hours. Very short. It was still pretty chunky. Not as chunky as Torna though. Torna is bigger than Future Redeemed, but it still took me like 16 hours, I think, to beat all of Future Redeemed, something like that.
Well, I mean, that's short, relatively, compared to Xenoblade standards.
JRPG fan over here, dude. Normal size video game.
Ethan, you gotta put it in perspective. Base game is like 50, 60 hours.
I'll have you know that base Xenoblade 3 took me 100 hours to finish. Yeah.
So like a 10, 15-hour game, it's short by comparison. It's all about perspective.
And people were saying that Xenoblade 1 was also long, so,
Yeah.
True. Anyway, after Pete came out, Splatoon 3 released on the 9th of September. Fun fact, if you weren't there, Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade 3 swapped their release dates because Xenoblade 3 was done a year before the game came out, and Splatoon 3 couldn't even make it to fucking June. What the fuck were you doing, Splatoon?
Couldn't even show up.
Splatoon 3 came out and basically felt like, oh yeah, this feels more like a sequel to Splatoon than Splatoon 2 did. It had a change.
It would feel a lot better if Splatoon 2 was absent, though.
Yeah. I think this game, again, I think the problem with Splatoon is there's no innovation, which is funny because the reason people love Splatoon in the first place is because it was a brand new IP from Nintendo. So it's like the fact that there's been no innovation, that still the base core game mode is just your regular turf war, and to go and play any other game mode, you have to play ranked, which is the most toxic place on the planet. It's like,
yep,
just dog shit, dude. There's not enough maps. The fact that the game's still working on a 3-hour map rotation is absolutely baffling.
I forget, is it 2 maps at a time or 3?
So I think they upped it to 3. Or is it?
It's 3 now?
I don't remember. Is it or is it 2? And they lowered it from 3 hours to 2 hours. I think it might be 2, but they lowered the time. Whatever it is, the answer is dumb. They let you
The
play
answer is it
Salmon
shouldn't
Run when
be
you
like
whenever
this.
yeah, they let you play Salmon Run whenever you want. That's pretty cool. I never played the expansion to Splatoon 3. I loved Octo expansion. Octo expansion's fab, but I never played the expansion to this. We should also mention
Wow.
in terms of DLCs, Mario Kart Booster Course Deluxe bullshit is already up and running. We're at this point. We're already in that hellhole. But
It's 2 maps every 2 hours.
yeah, fucking awful system. Just put a map rotate. Literally, here's what Splatoon 4. If Splatoon 4 doesn't launch with 16 maps and it's just regular fucking vote system, then I'm gonna scream. Because why do Splatoon games launch with 6 maps? No, sorry, 5 maps and a 3-hour wait limit on each one. That's what my favorite part is. Why does every Splatoon game have this? 2 maps and a set hour time, but have an odd number of launch maps. Why'd you do that? Like, that's just like actual brain rot. Like, that's so
Splatoon
dumb.
4 is just gonna it's just gonna be like the inflation of the series where or inflation like monetarily, I mean, where they're gonna take more away from you. Like you're gonna get 3 maps at launch and 1 host instead of a
Nice.
new number.
But yeah,
Well, you know,
I
at
think
least this
yeah,
game didn't have Moray Towers.
true.
And it did have Big Man,
Yeah,
who was
It
delightful.
did have Big Man.
he's on the thumbnail, so you'd hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Splatoon 3 is a better game than Splatoon 2. I just feel like again, there's no innovation there in terms of just basic wants for a Splatoon sequel. I just wish that they put more effort in. I think Splatfests are still fab, and I still think, but when you get to the end and you see like these big grand Splatfests with these whole new areas, and you go, wow, that's crazy. Again, why are you doing this 3 years later? Like, well, come on. Like, do that stuff from the beginning, man. Give us some spice from the start.
And the tricolor Splatfests were also a cool idea.
Yeah, Splatfest. Yeah, 3-way Splatfest and the tricolors were interesting. But yeah, I think just that game needs some work the next time it comes around. Matchmaking in particular as well. It never feels good. Splatoon's matchmaking. It never feels good. Next up, oh boy, time to get the beating stick out in 3 parts. Fuck me. God, look at this 3-way. Look at this. Bayonetta 3. Let's start off with this bad boy. Bayonetta 3 came out on the 28th of October and asked the question, what if we made a mediocre Bayonetta game? Well, here it is. Hunter, you're probably the most positive on Bayonetta 3. What's your opinion on it?
I think it's the least good of the 3. I still think it's a perfectly respectable action game, though. There's a lot where it's annoying because it could have been the best if they just focused in on what they wanted to do more, but I guess a combination of taking 3,000 years to make and people leaving as the game was in development.
This game feels like it was
onward.
stuck. Yeah, this game feels like it was stuck in
Yeah.
death hell. Like it genuinely does. It's got so many gameplay mechanics and stuff. It's one of those games. I think its ambitions were too big for the platform it was on. Where there was a lot of stuff where, like, with the giant monsters fighting in the background and stuff. Where I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, it doesn't really feel that good. Everything just kind of feels cobbled together. The story is fucking garbage, and it's just like, all in all, there was all the drama surrounding it with the voice actors and all that jazz on top of it. It's just like
yeah,
there was
that's right.
it was just there was nothing great about it, and it wasn't worth the wait. Like we waited like 5 years for it, and it didn't feel worth it in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't
Kind of
super
feels
great.
like, looking back on it, it kind of, seeing it in this perspective, it kind of feels like Pokemon Sword and Shield syndrome, where it had all this screaming and manufactured controversy before the release, just for it to come out and be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the new record for worst way to introduce a new character that you want someone to like. Now, like I thought that Devil May Cry 4 did Nero dirty, but geez, they did not do Viola any favors.
Yeah.
Her theme song was sung by a lady from a band I like, though, so that was cool.
But yeah.
I think I stopped playing the game right when Viola got introduced.
I don't remember when I
Not
stopped
not a
playing.
knock to her. I think I was just burnt on the series because
I just
again I was
remember.
marathoning it.
I just remember playing it because I played it out way after. Because I didn't play it for the podcast. I played it way after. Like I got it the Christmas after it came out, and I played it a little bit after that. And I just remember, it's a game's bad. Well, not bad. A game's mediocre when you end up typing into Google, "Does Bayonetta 3 get any better?" Like it was one of those games where I was like, "Does it get any
Oh
better?" And
no.
all I just heard was, "No, it gets worse." I'm like, right, I'm putting it down then. Like it was like one of those games where I was like, is there a glimmer of hope? And everyone was like, nah. Either people were like, it's the same, or people were like, no, the story doesn't go anywhere particularly good. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it.
Epic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the story was like in a series where the stories are wacky and stupid and not particularly in super great already. This one's just all sorts of stupid.
Yeah.
And then, that's more so what I meant about the Viola thing. I think her gameplay style was interesting enough. I thought it was cool, and I think some of the weapons they introduced were all right, but the general mechanic of the monsters, the giant kaiju stuff, any break where it was like the really big ones where you're fighting at the pace of molasses, not any fun, and I only really brought out the monsters for the mechanic in like the actual combat for like to end a combo with. Like it was Astral Chain or something rather than bringing them out to fight with me, because why would you do that?
Hell yeah.
Hmm.
Next up, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. These were video games that came out. I mean, here's the thing about Scarlet and Violet is I had fun with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I appreciate that they tried to do something different with a mainline Pokemon game. These games also run like dog shit and broken as hell. And
Yeah.
if they had had some proper development time, they'd be fantastic. And that's what makes me mad. Is Gen 9 is probably my favorite generation since Gen 6, but they're just broken, buggy messes. My save got
Right. Like
corrupted because I transferred it to a different console. Like this is just dumb. Like bad game.
Yeah. Like I can see a good product with Scarlet and Violet if it, like you said, if it just had more time in the oven. Because like there's just so many. I mean, beyond the fact that it's a buggy mess of a video game where you can fall through the floor at random times just cuz.
Yeah.
I think this game really would have benefited with some kind of like level scaling
Yeah, 100%.
to like the gym challenges, because I mean, what's the point of making it an open world if the game basically railroads you to go take on the gyms in a specific order,
Which yeah,
otherwise over level your team
which you'd
to
hope
fight the
they fix that in a future game. If Gen 10 was to do the
yeah.
same thing, you'd hope that is something. Because, yeah, level scaling made so much more sense. You have these three different... I liked the idea of, oh, you've got these three different paths to go down. But the fact that you have to do all of them in a
But
certain
it's not
order...
really a
You have to go...
it's
If you
not
go...
really a
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. But I
Because I
like
remember in
that.
my playthrough,
Mm-hmm.
after I beat the first gym, the next gym I ended up finding was the fourth gym, and I've decided to just try it, see if I could do it. I couldn't because my team was just way too underleveled. So I'm like, oh, I guess I got to go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I like the open-endedness to it. I like how you can how they give you those three paths and give you the illusion of free choice, even if you can't
Yeah.
really do it. I wish that they'd go in that direction further. Um, I don't like the legendaries again. I don't like the motorbikes. I think they're a bit lame. I'm also the ending, the Area Zero or whatever. Not a huge fan
Mhm.
of that. And I still think it's really funny that the plot makes so much more sense if you're playing Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. It's one of those weird ones where it's like, oh, like that whole Area Zero area where it's like, oh, we've got this technology that brings futuristic Pokemon in. I'm like, okay, what's the other way around? Oh, you have this. It's like it doesn't make sense. Like to me, it's like it's very weird in the way that final act wraps up, where it's like, yeah, it just exists. It happens. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Then again, there's stuff I like. The new Pokemon they introduced are cool. And the Paradox forms.
Yeah.
Spanish
think-
Wooper is great.
Spanish Wooper is
Clodsire is also top tier design.
dude, I love Clodsire. I had one on my team and I named him French Toast.
Oh, that's incredible.
He was my best friend. Fuecoco's just a really good Pokemon.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I like him. I like the dog that was the bread. That was from this
Oh,
generation.
bread
Fido?
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fido.
Red dog. Smoliv was from this generation too.
Dude, that's the thing with Scarlet and Violet. Like, I can see a good product here. It's just it needed more time to cook.
Who knows? Maybe in a couple of weeks,
Hmm.
maybe that Switch 2 day one patch, Kyle, turns it into a masterpiece, dude. Who knows? Only kidding. It won't do anything. It'll just make the frame rate
Well, I mean-
consistent.
Yeah, like beyond fixing the frame rate, you need to fix the bones with the game too.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a game that people liked the idea of a lot, and they let that blind them to the fact that playing the game
It's
itself
all right.
is like punching yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, speaking of a game though, there is no saving. Fire Emblem Engage came out in January 2023.
Ayo.
Oh, what a fuck! I hate this game. Like genuinely, it's not even that I don't like. It's not that I got bored. It's that it's like it
You
does
couldn't be bothered.
everything wrong. That like it's like story nonsensical and non-existent. Gameplay boring, world boring. The fact that it does this fan service nonsense of bringing past characters in is like it's emblems. Like it's just like there's so much I hate about this video game that I was like. I just instantly noped out of it. I played it for 3 hours and then instantly went, nope, this fucking offends me. I'm not playing it. Like, you can't make me.
Dude, and
If
so
not-
many of the character designs in this game are also just so fucking ugly.
Dog shit, yeah.
Like, it just looks like they cobbled a bunch of shit together and said, "That's a good one. Ship it."
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
do
love
every day.
the intro cutscene of this game where you have fucking Pepsi-chan main character with Marth floating next to her.
Yuri
You know,
Lowenthal, yeah,
Marth,
screaming
one
at
of the
your ear,
most Marth, one of the most iconic designs in Fire Emblem. Next to the ugliest thing you've ever seen.
It actually, like, this
God,
game
the
made me angry.
juxtaposition just hurts so much. Putting the old characters next to the ugly characters.
With a nonsensical story and gameplay improvements that, if I'm honest with you, weren't worth the cost of entry and losing everything else. It's like this game just has no personality whatsoever and no story. It's just awful. Like, genuinely. It just makes me sad that we haven't had anything else. You know? Like, I would have taken a remake over this. Like, my god. Like, remake an old one. Don't do
Awakening
fan
was right
service
there.
garbage, dude. Honestly.
If not for the brouhaha of our fantasy critic episode that year, I would not remember this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid. When Ethan stole 10 points from me.
Dude, if
He
it makes you
needed
feel any
them,
better, I
to
don't
be fair.
Yeah. I don't think it deserved the 10 points, if I'm honest.
No, it certainly didn't. And we both knew it didn't.
Anyway.
But I wanted those points.
Wrapping
From the game you said you weren't gonna draft.
Sorry, bud. Wrapping it up. 2 games that came out on the same day. Metroid Prime Remastered came out on the 24th of February. It was basically the GameCube game, just looking a lot shinier.
Very shiny.
Very cool. Pretty positive. I still haven't got around to properly playing it. I gave up after a little bit, but I might attempt to before Prime 4 comes out. Try and give it another go.
I
I
played
hope
and
someone's
liked it
keeping a
when there
counter
was...
of how many times Ethan has said I tried to play it and gave up.
To be
I think we're
fair-
at like 4 at this point.
Can you now see why trophies are a problem? Because this is odds I commit when I've got
they keep you
trophies
playing
involved.
bad
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Whereas
just
the,
games he
Like
doesn't want to
Assassin's Creed
play.
Valhalla.
whereas the Switch, you can see it's like I've got like 70 million games here, and I've played about 2 of them, and they were both in 2017. But yeah, you were saying, Hunter?
Oh, I picked it up later when they put out the physical version of it, and
It was
I
like a
played
month
and
later.
enjoyed
Same.
it.
That's what I did.
Yeah, yeah. I played and enjoyed it then. I had a lot of fun with it. I still like Dread more, but I think it's a cool new flavor for the series to have been going in back when Prime originally dropped, and I'm eager to play the 4th one when they release that.
It's a shame they never snuck in 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah, that's
Maybe one day.
still weird, but I think maybe they'll get to it.
Then on the same day, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe came out. This is a remaster of the Wii game, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. And I just, again, just one of those ports where you're like, oh, okay, we're getting to the end of, you can tell you're getting to the end of a console's life cycle. I mean, it started 2 years to go, but you can tell why we started thinking it, because they started porting Wii games.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's that year. To be honest, pretty strong year, to be honest. Pretty strong year, 2022, all things considered. If you even do a sneaky thing and
Yeah,
you
that was
like,
good.
you include Legends Arceus, the fact that you got Legends Arceus, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Bayonetta 3, all in the same year, you can't say that you weren't getting fed for Nintendo Switch in 2022.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't worry, guys. We're getting to the wilderness years now. We're going to start losing video games real quick. Not before Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. That classic. Did anyone play that? I didn't.
I did not.
I did not.
I
All
forget
right,
why
moving
this got
on.
brought up in conversation a couple months ago with a friend of mine, but they asked me if I knew what it was. I'm like, I do vaguely remember this thing, but
I like the
never played
storybook
it.
art style. I think that's cool.
It was
Other
a
than that,
cool looking art style, yeah.
big one for 2023, ladies and gentlemen. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom finally released to critical acclaim. Yeah, it's fantastic. You can tell we're at that
Yeah.
part of the podcast where I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Whatever. One of the best games ever made. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and the return of the s'mores flavored Oreos in the same week. It was like the great week to be Hunter a couple of years ago.
But no, I think it's great. I think it's, you know, it took everything from gameplay wise from Breath of the Wild and just cranked it up to 11.
Yeah, level of like commitment to detail and creativity that you can do inside of the gameplay is insane.
Yeah, and I mean, I love. It's very rare that you get one of these. Obviously, you had Ocarina and Majora, but it's very weird for you to get like 2 back to back like this anymore. So it's
Yeah.
nice to have Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as a little duology. I like it quite a bit. I still don't know where I stand on the story. I feel like at some point I want to replay this one because there's still a part of me that's like annoyed. Well, we've broken record here. I'm still annoyed at how this game half-asses its commitment to being a sequel, where it's like it's definitely a sequel, but we'll make every character make it feel like it isn't. Like, I'm like, okay, like let me go and talk.
Yeah,
If you
it's
commit to the bit, if I'm going back to Tarrytown and talking to people, I built this bitch. Talk to me. Like, don't act as if I've never been here. Like,
the only people that acknowledge that you were much of a presence in the other game are the Yiga clan, and it's very funny.
yeah. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, you're Zelda's
Your Zelda
guy.
boyfriend.
Yeah. That's all you get is, oh look, it's Zelda's. To be fair, again though,
This house it made
very
me laugh
rare.
so much.
You never get that with video games anymore. That you can literally go. It's like going back to your home after like being away for
Yeah, that
5
was the
years and
thing,
seeing
is
what's
like
changed. And it's just like
even when
yeah.
it was only like it put you back in the world was enough for me. Like I see how it could have been better if they did commit more to the bit, but being back in the world and just going and looking at all the places was a level of intrigue that was built in that I really enjoyed.
We can add this to the list of games that Kyle was like, nah.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
an
fun.
accurate noise? Nah.
Yeah, so I didn't play Breath of the Wild. I
I
had
was
no interest in
genuinely
playing Breath of the
surprised that he
Wild.
bought this one. Like,
Hey, man,
He gave in
we
to the
have a
FOMO.
podcast,
Yeah.
and I wasn't gonna be the only one not talking for an episode. So, I don't know, I bought it. I think that as someone who didn't play Breath of the Wild, that opening area was dog shit.
Yeah.
It felt awful to play as someone who had no experience and no idea what he was doing.
The Great Plateau is
That was
definitely a better
miserable.
tutorial area than the whatever it is in Tears of the Kingdom. It is a bit confusing. I will give it that. Um,
I I don't know. I just couldn't get behind this game. It's not for me. I think there's a lot of I just have a lot of issues with it
I I
that
I
don't
I
have a place in this video.
I
But
yeah, I love it. I still think it's fantastic, but I do think it is one of those weird ones where it's like, you definitely need, in my opinion, you definitely need to play Breath of the Wild before you play Tears of the Kingdom. Not just from a story perspective, because that doesn't really matter, but I'm just like, I don't think you don't gain anything from just playing Tears of the Kingdom first, in my opinion. It's not like, I'm like, go play Breath of the Wild. If you like Breath of the Wild, then play Tears of the Kingdom. Now we're sitting here. I'm like, do it in that order, you know? Where I'm like, yeah, just skip to Xenoblade 3. I'm like, no, you can build penis fucking robots when you get to Tears of the Kingdom. Go back to Breath of the Wild. Have a little bit of fun over there.
yeah, it's one of those things where I think that I would be inclined to agree if it was one of those things. I think if they were saying for sure that they were only going to play one of them, then they could just play Tears of the Kingdom. But if you were going to play both, but for some reason we're going, then definitely like because going backwards from Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild, I feel like would kneecap you when you're trying to play with the when they take away all the improved mechanics and stuff.
yeah, like I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm not gonna go back and play Breath of the Wild. I have no plans to do that in
But I
my
also,
life.
yeah, in my head though, Hunter, it's like when someone's like, I'm only gonna play one Xenoblade game. Like, yeah, play Xenoblade 3. It's got the best story. It's got all that. Whereas this one, it's like, yes, Tears of the Kingdom has a more refined tool set and it has a lot more that you can do with it. But that's not to me. In me, that's not like I'm not sitting there and going, that's the reason why you have to play this one. I'm like, no, I still think getting the origin of the story and the original magic is still there with Breath of the Wild. Where I'm like, no, I'd still recommend you play the first one. If you're gonna play one of or the other, I'd tell somebody to play the first one. It has that source still to me, in my opinion, anyway.
Mhm.
I still love it. I still think it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and
But it still has those Nintendo intricacies to it, where it's like it's dumb. Like I love the glitches in that game
like a
because I
dog shit
did,
control
yeah,
scheme.
like dog shit control schemes, and I 100% glitched my fucking Zonite so I got max battery like straight away because that game's painful with no battery, and it's like, oh, you want,
Yep.
and the game
I
like
upgraded my battery like twice.
yeah, it's just no. I liked my flying scooter. I liked pretending to be like Dr. Doofenshmirtz on my flying scooter, just
Yeah,
flying
dude.
around. It was great fun.
Yeah, dude, just flying over all the content.
No flying
Why
towards the
interact with the world,
content.
dude?
No, I was interacting with the world. But that's also, Kyle, the beauty of that is I'd already interacted with that world a lot playing Breath of the Wild. So it's like again, it's like it's a new tool for me to go around this place I've already been
Yeah.
to. Play Breath of the Wild
You
first,
can inter-
guys.
you
That's
can
the
interact with it as much as you want or don't want to
hell yeah, dude.
when you don't get peer pressured into buying it by everybody else.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
brother.
like I said, I have my complaints with Tears of the Kingdom, and this video isn't the spot for it. If you're curious, I've put some of them into an article I had written for our website last month. Um, go check that out. At one point, I call Tears of the Kingdom the Paper Mario sticker star of the Zelda series. So
Fucking
do
hell,
with that
what a dog
information what
shit,
you
what a
will.
fucking
Yeah, that
dog
was a
shit take. What
clown show take right there.
what a dog
Uh-huh.
shit.
Boo.
But what a
Yeah.
fucking dog shit take that is, dude. My god.
Yeah, dude. Let me hear it.
Fucking dog shit take. Um Here's a game for losers like Kyle. Everybody want to switch, guys. If Zelda Tears of the Kingdom's a bit too challenging for you, here's a real game.
Yeah.
Oh
I
god.
forgot that this I forgot about this box art, dude.
Yeah.
The goofy horse.
This is great.
Yeah, you know, some people are calling this the sticker star of the 1-2 Switch series, dude. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, you could say.
Yeah, that existed. Anyway, a month after that, Pikmin
Sure did.
4 released. Dude. You know, some people call Pikmin the sticker star of Nintendo
Oh my God.
franchises. Oh, see? Paper Mario fans all have dog shit takes, guys. It's true. Anyway, Pikmin 4 came out. People seem to like it enough. Again, I think Pikmin fans are just another breed. You know, if you like Pikmin, you like Pikmin. If you don't, I feel like there's a gene that it's like it's the Pikmin gene. You either have it and you love it, or you don't and you absolutely hate this fucking franchise and think that all the fans are stupid. So it's like, which gene do you have, guys?
I didn't realize that the whole Pikmin quadrilogy was on Switch.
Yeah, you can get
Yeah,
all of them, which is nice. It's just that and Xenoblade, which is
That's
crazy.
neat.
What a weird pair of franchises to have that whole.
We couldn't even get all the Luigi's mansions.
Yeah, but yeah, Pikmin 1 and 2 came out in September. You actually, you straight after. That's cool though. I mean, still not gonna play it. You can't make me, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. Detective Pikachu Returns came out in October 2020. This is a game that got like announced in like 2018 or something like that, and then just ended up coming out 7 million years later, and apparently was pretty shit. So that's there. Yo, you remember when like 2 hours ago, Kyle said there was a good 2D platformer? Here it is, Mario Wonder,
Here it is.
October 2023. Yeah, this game's fantastic. I wrote a review of
This
this
game
on
is
the
awesome.
website, so you can check out my more coherent thoughts there. But yeah,
It's the best 2D Mario game to come out since I've been born.
yeah, so true. I think it's fantastic. It's just filled
It's
to the brim
very
with
good.
personality.
It has a lot of charm and creativity.
You can turn into an elephant.
So true. So true. After that,
There's
WarioWare.
another WarioWare
Move
game?
It. Yeah, the better
Holy
WarioWare
shit.
game. Yeah, this is the actual good one. This is the sequel to WarioWare Smooth Moves for the Nintendo Wii. This one's fantastic. If you're going to play a WarioWare game, play this one. It's probably the best WarioWare game in the past 10 years, probably. Probably since Smooth Moves, this is the best WarioWare game. It actually has you getting up and doing stupid shit with the controller and doing all sorts of goofy stuff. Good stuff. Love it. After that, something that people thought was impossible actually happened. Super Mario RPG got a remake, and they didn't remove Geno. That's crazy. Kyle.
Yeah, no. Super Mario RPG remake, it's really good. It's like I just completely lost my train of thought.
It's a very good entry-level RPG for people who want to play something that isn't Pokemon, but don't want to jump into something that's like as long and complex as a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's a short game. This remake, like to a T, it's just like the SNES game. I had a lot of experience with the SNES game. I played that a lot as a kid, and like I was able to bust through this game in a day. Like just with all of my knowledge from the SNES version. This game, it's super good, super beginner friendly. Tells you how to do the time attacks, like gives you proper like markers when you're supposed to push the button for the action command. And they also added in a post game after the credits. I haven't bothered with that because I've just never felt the need to go back, but if you like the game, they added more to the game.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. Add that to another tally to the list of games that I bought that I didn't play. Add that one.
Epic.
Epic.
But not to the I started for a couple hours and quit.
No, we'll get back to that one later with the next Mario RPG. January 2024, Another Code Recollection released a remaster of two rather niche visual novels that were released and published by Nintendo on the DS and Wii, respectively. That was Another Code, or also known as Trace Memory in the US, and then Another Code R for the Wii It never came out in America, so you never got Trace Memory R or whatever it would have been called. But hey, it's a collection of those two games. Again, this is a game that I reviewed, so you can go and check out the review on the website or on YouTube if you want to hear what I thought about it. TLDR, I think it's pretty good. It's very much, it feels like a precursor to what games like the Telltale series and what Life is Strange in particular kind of became. It feels very coded in that vein.
Another coded in that vein, if you will.
Yeah. The first one's very short and is very you know, it's about a mystery, about a mansion, and there's a ghost and all that kind of stuff. It's very DS coded, in its in the fact that it's like got 3 locations and it's very random puzzle dependent. But I liked it enough. But the second game, especially, I really liked the second game. It felt very much like a visual novel. It kind of felt like a baby's first Life is Strange, kind of. There's no horror or anything like tragedy or anything like that. But it's a cool little murder mystery. Well, not murder mystery. Cool little mystery that I like quite a bit. It's a nice little package to have. I like when Nintendo does this every so often, and it seems like the end of the Switch's life, they really have been going through these more niche franchises that they own and go, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Final year. We're nearly there. Holy shit. Hold on, guys. 3 hours. Fuck me. Ugh, my voice is nearly
Man,
dead.
if only someone suggested split this in half.
I know, right? That was crazy. Also, Mario vs. Donkey Kong came out. I forgot about that, but who gives a shit? That was...
Oh, we skipped over Master Detective Archive in the summer, too.
Well, that doesn't count. That came to other places later. Nintendo didn't publish it.
Yeah, but, you know.
And we
Boo-hoo.
haven't bent the rules at all.
Anyway, Princess Peach Showtime came out on 22nd of March and asked the question, what if we made a girls game? And by girls game, we mean bad video game. Anyway, it was pretty bad. It's a shame that the concept was wasted on such a boring video game.
It was so bad, Ethan got hate mail for his opinions.
Yeah, it was so bad that someone was like, oh, I actually like it. And I said, and I quote, you deserve better, but make your standards higher, dude.
Oh my god.
Girls deserve good video games too, guys. It's true. Also, guys deserve good video games on with Princess Peach in them. Everyone deserves that game being good. But it wasn't. It was bad.
You tell him, Ethan.
2nd of May, Endless Ocean Luminous. Similar to another more niche franchise getting another entry. There you go. None of us played it, though. And then here you go, Kyle. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. Got a remake. Thoughts?
I love this game. Glad to finally have it available for a price that won't cost me my kidney.
Hell yeah.
Nah, Paper Mario's great. Thousand Year Door's awesome. It's a game that lives up to the hype. But don't ask Ethan. He played 30 minutes of it.
I did play 30 minutes.
And said that's enough.
And went, you know what? This really feels like the Paper Mario.
Sticker star of the Paper Mario series.
Paper Mario series. It just, it just didn't click with me. What can I say? So what did you think?
I was happy to finally be able to play this game after years of watching from afar or whatever and not having it available to me. I played like the first third of it and then took a break to play other things and finished it during my holiday break later. But it was a good game overall.
Nice. In June, Luigi's Mansion 2 got a HD port to Switch. Add that to the list of games I bought and then did not play. I love Luigi's Mansion. Boo! I mean, I played the original on the 3DS, so I have played Luigi's Mansion 2 before. My opinion on Luigi's Mansion 2 is it's a game. It's fine. It's just, again...
Really worth laying down the $50 for the Switch version, huh?
I think the only reason I did get it is because there was a really good deal in the UK where it was like half the price. So I was like, maybe I'll try playing
Why
Luigi's
not?
Mansion 2 again, and then I never even booted it up. Fitness Boxing Feat Hatsune Miku was in July. Also in July, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, which none of us played because we're not old. In August, Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club came out. We did not mention this at some point. I don't know why Nintendo doesn't have this on their website. That came out. The original two got remade a couple of years beforehand. Yeah. Sorry.
I've never played those, but they seem interesting enough.
I heard good things about Emio. So, again.
Yeah, I remember the ads for it before they revealed that it was part of the Famicom Detective series, being like, "Ooh, is Nintendo doing a horror game? That'd be cool." Blah blah blah, and I'll be like, "The Eternal Darkness Erasure is lame, but okay."
Next up, September, the final Zelda game for the Switch one, we assume. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Hunter, what was your thoughts on this one?
Echoes of Wisdom was really cool. A very cool way to bring like the, gameplay creativity from Tears of the Kingdom into the top-down Zelda space in a way that I'm glad they did, because normally, with the exception of Link Between Worlds, the top-down Zelda games are kind of bare bones as far as the mechanics and the dungeons and whatnot, and I feel like the the duplication mechanic was really well served to make it interesting at the time. I really liked this version of Hyrule too. It was wacky and goofy in a way that was a lot of fun. Minister right and General left, or whatever direction their respective characters were fun. They brought back the Yetis from Twilight Princess for one of the dungeons. That was cool. The Deku, a lot of returning elements from older games were present in this one. I was happy to see again. Ethan, you're muted.
Add this to the game.
No, let him keep talking.
I was just saying the classic line. Add this to the games that I bought that I haven't played yet. But both this and Link's Awakening are both getting Switch 2 patches, so hopefully I will get around to them on Switch 2. Because I've been meaning to play both of them, but I've been waiting for the right time. Maybe that's the best time that we have. Anyway, Hunter's Arch Enemy came out the fucking month after Super Mario Party Jamboree. Hunter don't like a good time.
Straight up, like, my camera's not going to capture it, but there's like 2 gray hairs on my head right about here that I'm pretty sure are a result of playing this game.
Nice.
Oh no.
But no, you mainly didn't like it because it felt slow again, right? That was what your issue
was.
Yeah,
it was slow and boring. Like, a 10-turn game took an hour. So every mini game was like 3 rounds for no reason, when it could have been 1 round, because your mini games don't have enough substance to last 2 more additional rounds of stuff.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. We will force him and we will bully him to use his Nintendo Switch 2 camera to engage with Mario Party Jamboree's expansion pack. We will be going on that roller coaster.
Yeah.
We'll be forcing you on it.
With his game
there is a higher
card.
chance of the Mario Kart being played by me than
well, don't worry. We're
Jamboree.
sneaking, me and Kylie are sneaking to your house and install it while you're not looking. Next up, another Mario RPG, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Cal, did you play Brothership?
No, I didn't.
That's fair. I feel like
I drafted it in the fantasy league, but I didn't play it. Got me 8 points. It was fine.
This,
I guess.
it feels like really bad timing, like to just have all 3 back to back to back within the span of 13 months is really have all 3 major
crazy work.
Yeah. You think they could have padded those out just a tiny bit better. But and I think Brothership really did, like, it didn't do as hot as the other 2 just because of that. I think it really just didn't hit the way it should have. Like, I feel like they should have spaced them out just a tiny bit more, because it was a detriment, I think, to that one. That it was just like, oh yeah, you're the last in line. Also, Mario and Luigi is definitely the least popular of the 3 series. Like Mario RPG and Paper Mario, especially Thousand Year Door, huge. Mario and Luigi, it's kind of the one that no one gives a shit about. Let's be real. They should have at least sandwiched it in the middle. It had a better chance. By that point, people were Mario'd out. Fitness Boxing got another entry. Fitness Boxing 3.
How
Wow.
many of these games are there?
At
Four.
least 3.
4, because you gotta
Oh,
count
God.
Or-
Hatsune Miku.
Oh yeah, Hatsune Miku. I forgot
Classic.
about Miku.
Yeah.
Wasn't there also like a Fist of the North Star
Yeah,
one?
I think so. Anyway, then finally
Why?
for this year, for year 8, finally one, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Again, one of those weird amalgamations between a 3DS port and the Wii game, all bundled together. I didn't play this.
Yeah, neither
I
did
didn't play this.
I was not
Excellent.
super big on the Wii version in the first place, so
I mean, yeah, I played it on the Wii, and I'm like, it's fine.
Fair enough.
I don't need to play it again.
And then finally, we look at this year, the final year, and what's to come. Obviously, we've just had Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Kyle?
some would call it the Mario Party sticker star of the Xenoblade series.
Oh, so
Yeah,
true.
the Mario Party
Bestie.
sticker star.
So true. It's my favorite Mario Party game sticker star. I love that.
Broski fumbled the joke.
Oh
it
no!
works fine.
Stop! Fucker fumbled his words. 3 hours and 12 minutes
Bro.
into a podcast. Dum dum.
Like the Paper Mario sticker star of joke tellers.
Oh yes, I'm the Paper Mario sticker star of joke tellers. You've got me.
Not Mr. Game Key card above me.
Anyway, Kyle, what do you think of Xenoblade
Anyways.
Chronicles Definitive Edition X Edition?
I think I put
Funky
put out a review a month ago, and you can go watch that.
So
Fuck
true.
you, I'm tired.
So true, bestie. Don't worry, Kyle. We're nearly done, because when you think about it, what's left in the future? Couple of games here and there. Big ones, obviously Rhythm Heaven, which I'm very much excited for. I will be playing that on my Switch too. I'll have a fucking great time. And Tomodachi Life. Oh, what a riot. Let's just think, guys. We just wasted 3 hours of our lives talking about all these video games that came out, and then they waited after all of that shit to then release a Tomodachi Life. Like, let's just think about that. 4
Hey, man,
fitness
you could've played
boxings, maybe
Miitopia.
5 before Tomodachi Life returns. My God.
Oh man, remember the big lady that was at the end of that trailer? It was
Yeah.
wild.
I can't wait. Yeah. I'm telling you what, dude, she's the next Lady Dimitrescu, dude. She's the next Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh,
Everyone will be
almost
asking her to
definitely.
step on us, dude. That's what we're doing. Hell yeah. Anyway. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, let's wrap it up. What are your guys' top 3 games? In fact, you know what? I'll go first, because I don't know if you guys have thought about it. My 3 favorite games. Also, I'm gonna be arbitrary here, because I'm just gonna remove the fact of doing multiples from a franchise, because otherwise we'll just be talking about the same 3 games. So my 3 favorite games are Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and probably, if I think really hard, it's gotta be Mario Odyssey. I think those are my 3 favorites. Hunter?
Tears of the Kingdom, Hades, Metroid Dread.
No, don't. No, Hades not allowed. Hades is cheating. Pick a real one.
Okay.
Pick a real
Tetris
one.
99.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer. Fucking picking Hades. It was out on PC 6 months
Good
beforehand.
answer,
Get
good
a fucking
answer.
life. God.
That was
Hunter
not the one
really is the
that
Paper
really-
Mario sticker star of the HGO podcast, isn't he, dude? Like, Kyle, take us home.
Super Mario Odyssey, Octopath Traveler, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Good answer. Good answer. Anyway.
I didn't want to say Octopath 2 because I feel like Ethan was gonna
Yeah,
yell.
I
at
was.
me.
Yeah, Octopath 2 would have actually got you in the bin, because that did come to PC at the same time. You would have been bin. Sorry, PlayStation 5 at the same time. It's PlayStation 5, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you would have been binned.
but
But
I
no.
do think 2 is the better game.
That's fair. That's
It
fair.
sure is.
I also I think Tears of the Kingdom's the better game, but Breath of the Wild is my favorite because I didn't have an
Yeah.
experience like it. Anyway, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That might quite possibly be our longest episode of the HGO podcast that isn't a spoiler cast. Can we confirm or deny that? Can we check the tapes? Can we check that? Our links are on screen right now. If you're still here at this point, God fucking help you. Get some help.
God bless you.
Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed. We love and appreciate you. My voice is actually dead.
To be fair, like this episode is going up on an American holiday.
Yeah, it's bank holiday in the UK as well.
Oh shit, dude! It works out perfectly.
Yeah, happy bank holiday, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful day and you haven't spent 3 hours of it listening to the HGO podcast. That's pretty cool.
Hopefully you split your listening up into 2 segments.
Yeah, maybe into 8. Look at those timestamps, baby.
Maybe into 8.
Anyway, that was fun. Join us next week for a 20-minute episode of the podcast just to make up for all the extra you got this week. We'll show up for 1 minute increments for the next 3 weeks. Switch 2 review.
You can no longer yell at me for the PlayStation 2 box arts episode.
Nah, it's all good. My voice is
because of
kind
its
of dead,
length.
but you know, it's all fun and game. Anyway, thank you. I'm not gonna run it. We're wrapping it up, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this extended episode. Next week, as we said, it's time to cry. Summer Game Fest predictions is here, ladies and gentlemen. Will Hunter predict it? Will Hunter imagine a better show than what we'll actually be seeing? Yes, he will. Find out what it is next week.
He always does.
And then the week after that, join us for our Switch 2 retrospective in real time, an 8-year podcast. No, but it will be our Switch 2 first impressions.
The life and death of the Switch 2.
Yeah, we're just going to keep streaming until Nintendo announces the Switch 3, guys. Wish us luck. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you ever so much for listening and watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome rest of your week, whatever's left of it, because we've used most of it up. But hey, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.